without further ado, we are about to bring on my man DJ 9. Long time coming. This guy, see, I like 9 a lot. You know, I've known about 9 my whole DJ career. You know, he was always, and he's not that, he's like, I think he's like 3 years older than me, tops. So, he was like one of the DJs that were like pretty much my age that's like accomplishing real shit. So I'm always like looking at 9 like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? When you see people your age accomplishing real shit and you're looking at yourself like, damn, man, I got to figure shit the fuck out. You know, like, dude has been on the radio since the 2000s, since like Q102 with like the big Philly radio stations around here. I would literally listen on the radio since I pretty much started DJing, maybe a couple years after. Like, it was right around then. Like, I remember seeing DJ 9. He's DJ with 50 Cent. He's literally on tour with Paulie D right now. He's the Phillies official DJ. Shaq slapped his ass once, I think. I don't know. He's got stories, and I'm pumped to bring him on. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Philly's finest. Let me find the fucking scene here. There it is. DJ 9. What is up, brother? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good. Here, let's adjust levels first because we wing this shit here. We're going to bring you up.
Yeah.
All right, give me a check.
Really low budget. Still use the
I got the same headphones. These aren't low budget, man. These sound crazy.
I know.
I slept on these forever. I was like $600. I can't fucking do it. Fucking do it. And then one day I was high as hell, and I was like, man, if I had bass in my ears, that would be so crazy. Like, and it's supposed to be nuts. And I was like, fucking, I bought it. Next day, I was like, why'd I buy that? I was gonna bring them back. I was like, if these aren't the greatest headphones in the world, they're getting sent right back. I don't give a shit. And then. Yeah. And then they really were, like, they sounded so good, and they're all comfy. And then, like, I'll wear them to ShopRite as, like, a light flex. You know what I mean? Just with my hoodie. Like, I'm just bumming it. No big deal. I'm just bumming it. Don't look. No, that's not a Hyundai outside. Don't look. But I'm just bumming it.
Oh, my God, that's great.
You know what I mean?
I know. I love them, dude. I swear by these now. With airplanes, the noise cancellation, you don't hear the engine, not, like, little things like that. And,
literally
like, they're incredible. Yeah, dude.
Literally unreal.
But as long as I sound good, we're good. Because I was just saying to somebody, I've done a few podcasts now at this point, and I'm now getting more and more pissed that I don't have like the dope microphone coming into my frame. You know, like I don't have that shit.
Yeah, listen, it's extra, you know. Yeah, the only way it would really make a difference, in my opinion, is if like we were doing. There's a way to do this where like you're recording audio on your computer right now, and then I'm recording audio, and then later on I splice it together, so we do it remotely, but it's still like the direct audio source. It's not like over the internet. The final product isn't, and that's where like a regular mic would like be superior. When you're talking over the fucking interwebs, I feel like it's just not like, you know, a huge thing, you know.
I just heard myself on the Get Down podcast, Cream and Gary W, the guys, homies up North Jersey, and I hear myself back, and I'm like, don't sound as good as them. I don't like it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, that's whatever.
I don't know. Hey, look, ask Santa next year.
I know. True. Good fucking point.
Like, sure, good point. For the everyone has the SM7B. This is the shit. You know, Thriller, the entire album was recorded on this mic.
Shut up.
In the 80s.
Really?
Swear to God. Michael Jackson recorded this and some other shit too. This was one of his favorite mics back in the day. Shit. This is like a legend. This shit's been out since literally like the late 70s, and it's like the legendary. And what really put me over the edge is because like Joe Rogan used it. I'm like, all right, well, this dude's got like fuck you money, and he's using this $400 mic. It's got to be pretty good. Like, you know what I mean? Like he could be using a $5,000 mic. And I was like, all right, I'll try it out, and it really was. So that'll be my fucking recommendation. Cool. But how you doing? How's everything?
I'm good. I just woke up maybe like 45 minutes ago. My DoorDash is literally right outside. Yo, can I grab it real quick?
Yeah, grab it, bro. Grab it.
Hold on. It's right here. It's right here. Hold up.
All right. So who wants to take bets on what he has? I say it's a sausage, egg and cheese, extra Italian sausage. Eddie's a guinea. It's extra Italian sausage for sure. I guarantee it. Sausage, egg and cheese.
Dude, are you kidding me right now?
What do you got? What do you got?
Sausage, egg, and cheese from Dunkin' Donuts.
So I was wrong on the Italian sausage, but I was right on the fucking sausage, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, you were. Oh, dude, it's like Jersey. It's like the Jersey thing to have until like 4 p.m. is a sausage, egg, and cheese. And I'm living in Philly. Go figure.
Well, 1,000%. I mean, if you, to me, like breakfast is always breakfast. No matter when I wake up, it's breakfast. So it's beautiful. Dude. This is the first time we've had a sausage, egg, and cheese on the show. So I'd like to welcome that as well. welcome to sausage, egg, and cheese. Thanks for joining us today. That's beautiful.
Sorry, getting a late start to my day. Sorry about that.
I was saying, man. I literally woke up 45 minutes ago as well. That's why I do the show at 12. Everybody's like, you got to do it at a different time. It's like, no,
no, 12's good. Gives people a reason to actually get up and watch it too.
Yeah, but
oh, boy.
So you're basically a Rutgers, to paint the picture for everybody. You're a Rutgers alumni, right? So you went to Rutgers, and that's like when you started DJing, or did you DJ before Rutgers?
No, I started literally like my first 2 months in. Really, we lived in a suite on Bush campus for anybody that knows the university, and we went to one frat party, me and my suite mates, and we're like, "Yo, this DJ sucks." Whatever. That's actually the first time I've ever used that word. Roommates, whatever. Yeah, that was.
Okay. Hey, go ahead.
They were so sweet.
My sweet mates were in my bridal party, and I just really. No, anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So I went to the party. I was like, dude, like I've seen DJing going to like Philly clubs, like the 17 places, Shampoo at the time, Flow,
remember the phone parties?
The Roxy. Yeah, dude, of course. And over time, after like 3 or 4 times being there, I started going there instead of like wanting to dance with girls. I'm like, yo, this DJ is killing it. And like Serato had just come out, or like,
yeah.
I remember when I was first going there when I was 17, it was just vinyl. I just saw like big dudes with a sweat rag over their shoulder, like their boy was handing them a song, like a record or two. And I was like, this shit's cool as fuck. And I didn't really understand it. Obviously, like I knew what it was. But once I got to Rutgers, I knew everything was kind of more digital and electronic and like laptops and stuff. I was like, I'm picking this up. Now's the time. Like the parties are out here. I could do it immediately. And I literally I did my first frat party probably 2 months into being at Rutgers. And like, I picked it up so fast. Like, I mean, I've been playing guitar since I was 11. So like musically, like I was just like, I had it, you know what I mean? But like, I had a lot to learn, of course. But like for me to start doing parties, like it was nice. It was good. And
that's a way to hit the ground running, because that's so fun, you know?
It was only me and Demand out there, really, that was DJing. You know, our friend, obviously, Demand. And it was like, he was in the bars because he's like 1,100 years older than me.
True.
And
I just got a dislike on the video. God damn it.
And I was running the frats. So it was a quick turnaround with me just like starting to do parties.
That's cool. So you like caught the
and they were paying me. Yeah, and they were paying me too. Yeah,
that's the thing with these D1 colleges, man. All these kids have budgets. They all have like treasurers in their frats and stuff, and they'd be able to pay. I used to do D3 frats, and I would get paid barely in beer. They're like, after 2 beers, like, all right, man, you got to start bringing your own shit. I brought my own music.
You know? You're right.
So the D1's a different experience, man. I'm actually glad I didn't go to a D1 school. I probably would have died, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was fun. The frats really. Where'd you go? You went to. I feel like I know this, but I forget.
Lebanon Valley. It's out.
Nope, would never have guessed that.
Yeah, near Hershey, Pennsylvania. There's
I know
we
Lebanon,
had 1,200 kids living on campus. It was awesome. But I was the only DJ, the only real DJ around. So, man, I had tens of fans. It was insane, bro. It was insane, bro.
What year
we still
did
threw
you
down
start
though.
playing?
I was only me. Oh, I started. I don't know. Fucking when I was 14. So 03.
Oh shit! Yeah, so you started before I did.
So I was 14. Yeah, but I was weddings though. Like 5. I started with weddings, man. Yeah. I was like, I didn't learn how to beat mix until like 06, 07, you know, like
I remember you telling that
that's
story.
when I discovered all that. Yeah, like you know, the first few years I was literally just a wedding DJ teaching line dances. So you know what I mean? It's not really you can't call it DJing. I was an entertainer, man. You know, I literally had a fucking tuxedo on and put your hands in the air like you just don't care. All that shit.
Hell yeah.
I wish I started the other way because it was tough, man. Because then, like later on, you did because I did. That's kind of when I discovered you. When I started mixing, I discovered AM, and then like I discovered all like the more local guys. Like I heard about Demand, I heard about you, and I remember thinking like, man, that's so cool. How do I do that? And everyone's like, get the fuck out of here, wedding DJ. You're don't even come close to our clubs. And I was like, okay. And I've been practicing ever since.
me and Demand, even like a year in of me DJing, I met Demand because I wanted to be in. He was at Old Queens every Tuesday and Thursday for, oh my
Yeah.
God, a decade. But then, he'd been there for a couple of years. We
2
became
decades.
friends immediately. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. He didn't hit the 20-year mark. He stopped in 19 years.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, anyways,
Fossil.
um, he kind of put me on to. I knew who AM was, but like he was a huge fan, a huge fan, and he's like, yo, he plays at Murmur and Borgata like once every like 2 or 3 months, and we would go down and see AM play like right behind him. If you remember Murmur, you could stand right behind him and just watch him DJ. We still have photos of ourselves being there that night. It was cool, so much fun. And then
I
we come back
wish.
and like just try to use those routines at like the bars and frats and shit and be
That's
terrible at it.
crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I missed that
Wow.
era, man. He died before I turned 21. But I remember Murmur. I mean, when I turned 21, I obviously went out there, and it literally was. You could just stand right behind him and just watch. And just I couldn't
So
imagine.
cool,
He really
right?
did rip every time, like it was no joke.
Every single time. We know. You know what's funny? At that point, this was like maybe 2007 or eight. Might have been '06. I don't remember that time frame. But he would
So
never
Skinny
drink. I don't
AM.
know. It was Skinny AM. Yeah,
Hmm.
he would never drank or anything. He kind of went in, did his thing, and then he'd walk right out. Us, we're like in Atlantic City. We're not driving home. We're like slamming because the bar is right back there. Remember that big bar that's right behind the DJ
Yep.
booth?
Yep.
Our drink was always full, and we're like watching him. Like, dude, he hasn't had a sip of anything. But
That's
I
crazy.
don't know.
But he
Whatever.
would. Did he smoke like cigarettes and like put it out on bitches' shoulders and shit?
I do
I heard
recall
stories
him smoking a cigarette, but I think he
in the
did it
booth.
like post gig, maybe a little bit, like when he was
Ah,
done his
okay.
set, and like at the time, Adam Bomb was the opener, and he would maybe once he hopped on, he maybe have one. I don't really recall, but I kind of remember him doing something like that.
No
But
shit.
yeah,
That's
Huh.
fucking nuts. So you came up through there. Like, how did you get into radio?
yeah. It's really a right place, right time. I was covering for somebody at Parks Casino out here in Ben Salem, uh, and it was like a Saturday night. And they had Wire 96.5 like hosting. I guess they would do like some giveaways. And Buster, who worked at Wired at the time, he was like just on the mic, like getting people interacting in between like the band breaks and stuff like that. And I
Hmm.
was DJing, and he just came up to me. He was like, "Yo, like we have this might have been like the beginning of the summer or like in the spring of like 2013 or 14." He's like, "Yo, during the holiday um during like the holiday times, like Memorial Day or Labor Day, they do like more DJing, less like commercials. So like they run mixes. They're like, would you like to submit one for like a Memorial Day weekend? I was like, yeah. I've always been one. I've always wanted to be on the radio. Like Spin Bad was like a huge inspiration up in New York. When I was dude,
Legend.
when I was at Rutgers. Quick story. I would literally get into class late because his mix was still going in my car. I'd wait until he was done his half hour to then get into my class.
That's sad.
Sick.
I don't blame you though. And if any DJ's
Yeah.
never heard like any of his mixes back in the day, he's really a
Ugh.
legend. Like a lot of the way he was so good, the way he cut, man, it was he influenced AM, didn't he? Like he was like in
Yeah,
that
of
realm.
course.
Like he was like one of those, yeah.
But even with like Serato 3.0 right now, like he was doing live blending then, and this is
Mm,
2005. He always started a mix with a mashup. He always did it live. It was so good.
yep.
But anyways, Buster was like, "Yeah, you want to do a mix for the holiday?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And then once I did that one, I think like 2 months later, they just gave me a call and was like, "Do you want to be on? You want to be one of the DJs for our Saturday show?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course I
That's
do."
crazy. And is it
Yeah.
live in studio then, or like did you like
No,
submit? So just something
no.
you had your homework.
Yeah, it's homework. You got to submit it before Thursday of every week for it to be put up into the system for a Saturday show.
Gotcha.
And then at that point during the week, normally every show has a host, and it's Rocco, MC
Yeah.
Rocco from out here. I mean, he's been
Yep.
on Q102 since I was born, so he's
No,
big out
seriously.
here for Philly
And he'd
radio.
always be the man at the underage clubs back in the day. Like he used to like host
Uh huh.
events there. Like that's how I got introduced to him. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know him at all. Not, but like
Hmm.
when I heard of him for the first time, I remember going to these phone parties back in the day and like Roxy right on Delaware Avenue in Philly
Yeah.
and the Bamboo Bar that was like, and all that shit. Like, and they would
Yep.
host these
Yep.
big things. And like Rocco was always there with his taper cut and his fucking, and just like, and I'm like, dude, man, this guy gets all the bitches.
Yep. Yep.
And then he was like,
It
and then I
was.
realized he's a radio guy, you know, like
It
legends
was.
around
Wasn't
our
it so?
area.
Dude, seriously, wasn't it so cool then there was something different about when you went to a bar or a club and you saw like the Wire 96.5 banner or the Q102 banner outside? You're like, yo, tonight's a little bit like crazier because the station was
1000%.
there. It was such a big deal to have a station at the club at that week on that weekend. Like
Because
it hit different.
Well, because there was no social media influencers then, and like even though it's
Yeah,
radio and you're not even going to be on video anywhere, people still I
yeah.
feel like felt like they were like this was like either they're going to get discovered or like they were going to be on the radio somehow or they're going to be like whatever. Like just like
Hmm.
there's famous people here. This is going to be a night, and then everyone just it's going to be a movie tonight, and everybody just wow, it was a whole different vibe
Yeah,
every single
I
time.
know.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's crazy,
it was such a
man.
thing, such a thing of the past, man. Oh, it's just I miss that time. I really do.
We had it was a crazy there was like a solid quite a few clubs that were like ripping back then and it's
Yeah,
insane like the scene it was like a whole scene like I remember there was this DJ back in the day the tall Big Willie you remember DJ Big Willie tall
I
skinny
can't say
dude
I do.
his name was Will Smith his real name's Will Smith
Oh
and so
yeah.
and Big Willie he would DJ Shampoo. He would
Hmm.
DJ the other one in that area, like right off of Ben Frank Bridge. I'm like hitting my camera. Oh my god, what
I
was
don't
the other one
know.
called?
I do know the
But
name
he,
now, though.
but yeah, he was like the dude back then.
Hmm.
And yeah, and like that's where like going out to those clubs, that's kind of like that, and then AM mixes, spin bad mixes, radio, and
Yeah,
all that.
dude.
That's kind of how I
Such a
discovered like, wow, you can blend songs together. Wow, you can beat mix. No way. Why didn't this fucking guy tell me about this?
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? I was like, and then I
Who
fucking,
sold
you
you
know,
short, bro?
I know, dude. And I didn't even have the computer. I had to learn with fucking CDs, and the computer shit's been out at
Yeah.
that point. You know what I mean? I was literally sitting there with
Right.
like Juvenile, back that ass up on each seat disc, mixing it together.
Yeah.
Like, all right, how do I figure this out? My CD
Hey,
mix
man,
too.
definitely a good way to learn, though, because that was never easy either doing that, man. Oh, my
I feel like,
goodness. With the
yeah,
CD books and everything.
yeah, we're like the last generation of DJs that can like mix without looking at a screen. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like after that, I feel like it all. You know, why just look at the waveforms? It's easier. You
Right.
know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
kind of had to back then. It was.
But yeah,
It was.
so to put an end to that, Wired was going strong for like 3 or 4 years, and then they got bought out. But I forget the story, but it wound up becoming Amp Radio, which was like a more corporate company that was coming in. And I think it's CBS Radio that kind of like owned Amp Radio. And when they bought out Wired, they just commercial radio hates DJs, so we were just completely like off the rip. As soon as they signed, we were gone. We weren't allowed to
Gotcha.
be there anymore. And luckily, 2016 or 17, I got a call from Buster. And anytime Buster calls you, you're like, oh, what's happening? Something's going
Yeah.
down, you know? Because he had to move out and like leave town and go and do what he had to do with other radio stations. So at the time, I think Buster was down in Florida, and he called me. He's like, "You ready to get the gang back together?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
What? And
He's
that's
like,
when
"I'm going to
Q102
be."
happened.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm going to be the PD, the program director at Q102." I was like, "Oh my god!" And that's like Wired was like they're like the biggest competitors because they're like they're not sister stations, but they generally play the same music at the time.
Yeah.
But since Wired was no longer around, he got that offer. And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, like let's go." And then there we are.
And you've been there ever since.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
do a show. What's funny? I just stopped doing my Saturday show. I called Buster about 2 weeks ago. The schedule's getting kind of crazy right now. So I used to be on at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. every Saturday, and I do every Thursday. I do a throwback mix at 5:30, which is so much fun doing throwbacks. It's like that's our pocket. You know what I mean?
it's a lot of
It's
work,
like,
man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I do one mix a month, and
yeah,
like I'm always
yeah.
like, fuck when it comes up. Oh, it's due, and
Well,
freaking
that's
out. Like
what
I have no system
I
for
tell
this.
you.
Like
You're right, Nick. And I tell you, like over time, the Saturday mix shows got kind of hard because music changes because we get a list of songs that the
yeah,
radio is pushing,
the A's
and
and the
there's
B's and the
so A are considered the power songs, which are like the most popular right now.
yep.
B are like the come ups, and C is like the real big come ups. Like let's try this out. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So we have to sprinkle those in, and you start hearing these songs and like they're contemporary or like I kind of like want to have a good mix, but like these songs are like just like kind of tough. You try to find remixes
So you gotta have
online.
these lulls, yeah, and then you
Yeah.
have to have these lulls, and it's just like, bleh.
So it got to a point for me where I was making those mixes every weekend and putting them right up on SoundCloud. Once they got up on the radio, I'm like, I didn't want them to go to waste.
Yeah.
So I figure when the show happens, I put it right up on SoundCloud and people can listen to them whenever they want. So that helped me give a shit about making these mixes because I'm just going to leave them out for the world forever,
True.
instead of just being like half-assing it, playing every song on the list for the radio and then putting it out. It's like,
Yeah.
I wanted to give a shit. So when I like mentally was just drained from the week and having a lot of other things going on, I just told Buster, I was like, can I just like kind of fall back a little bit on the weekends? I'll still do the throwbacks. I could do that. That's
There's a wider range too. Yeah.
It's a wider range and it's only a half hour instead of an hour.
Oh, yeah.
So that helps a little bit too with time. And if I want to come back, he'll let me back. He said he would. So it's all good.
What's your process for making a mix? Like, do you have like you know what I mean? Doing it every week?
Yeah.
Like, how do you start off downloading? Like, how do you?
I do, yeah. Of course, I have like a Q102 crate, and like I kind of do like Thursday crate, Saturday crate, and then things get taken off, things get added in. But
Gotcha.
I literally prep it before I do it. I don't go off the fly because, like, oh my God, I loved your mixed in key video. It was so good.
Yeah. Shit matters.
So what I was going to add was I can't not mix in key. There is no way. If I see 4A and the next song I want to play is 8A, guess what? It's not going to happen. I'm not doing it. No.
It's a very good trait and it's a toxic trait at the same time because sometimes it gets me like, fuck. No. There's gotta be a 3A somewhere.
I'm stuck in 12A, but I want to get to 3A. Oh my God. Like you're playing levels and the levels is like 12A or 1A or something like that. It's like the only thing I know is like shots.
Yeah. Like I was literally in the green, like the 12A, 1A, 2A in Philly when I was playing last weekend. I was in the green for like 40 minutes and I looked, I'm like, it's been 40 minutes. I have to get out of here. I have to find 3A, 4. I got to get out of these like greens. What am I going to play greens all night? I'm going to run out of music. What the fuck am I doing? I remember thinking to myself like, Nick, get out of the greens.
I'm so sick, dude. I'm so sick with the keying of songs that like I know keys of songs. Like if you told me a song, I'd know the key just because I'm so sick of like I look at it religiously. It's like knowing the beats per minute of a song. It's like I know the key. It's so crazy. But no, so when I plan, it's just I make sure everything's in key, and then that's pretty much it. But
so
I make sure
a crate, and then you make it
Uh-huh.
all in key, and then you just figure out like you don't have like a ritual, like you don't like pour yourself a drink, like smoke a little crack before, like there's not like a ritual before you do it. You kind of just go.
The only ritual is like,
degenerate.
oh shit, I got no, you're not. The only ritual is, oh shit, I got to make a mix, and then I have to go and do it.
Okay, nice. Wow. Well, stick that in your pocket, people. There you go. Yes.
But I still post them. I put them up on SoundCloud. I do pretty well on SoundCloud. I got verified and didn't even ask for it. It's kind of cool.
Oh, I know. I saw your verified. That's dope.
Doesn't look as good like it would be on Instagram, but whatever.
Hey, listen, a blue check's a blue check. Okay, it's rare for us guys to get them. It's definitely not easy. But yeah, definitely check out his SoundCloud. Everything I can link it in this video too later. So
cool.
Check out your SoundCloud and all that. Cool. But yeah, like the only thing I do, like I basically do the same thing, but like my only difference is like, so I make the thing and then I have to like get really high and listen to it, and then I always pick shit out that I have to fix, like always, and it's like to my detriment. But like I put these headphones on now, like it's these headphones, right? Put them on. Get blasted, and then I listen to it, and I just close my eyes like, all right, how do I feel right now? Oh, that was stupid. I don't want to do, and I figure out that's like my ritual, like I have to do. And it's funny, in ancient Persia, thousands of years ago, when they would propose a law, when they would propose a good idea, Google this, people, all right? Tell me if I'm wrong. When they would propose a law, and they had an idea where they wanted to put it in the law, however they ruled their land back then, they would think about it sober, and then they would get wasted. And then if it was also a good idea when they were wasted, then they would make it a law. It had to be a good idea when they were sober and wasted. Two states of minds. If one or the other didn't feel like a good idea, then they wouldn't make it a law.
Damn,
so I feel like I'm onto something here. I mean, ancient Persia's not around no more, but still, I think I'm onto something.
Rituals never die.
That's it. Rituals never die. Shouts to Persia. We got any Persians in the chat? Probably not.
Shout to Persia. Shout to Persians. Wow.
So you go through the radio, and then and radio is such a cool thing too. So you're getting a lot of ears, and you killed it on there for like a long time and everything in clubs. But like, when did it
Yeah.
start? Well, let's start with like the Phillies thing. Let's start with the Phillies thing. I got graphics for
Okay.
this if I could find it. So
For
if
real?
you guys don't know, this is a more recent thing. So I guess we're kind of going to start work
Yeah.
backwards or whatever. But there's so much I want to like ask you about. So
Sure.
you're the Phillies DJ, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Honestly, when I heard about this, it was this past year. Finally, they added a DJ, right? Like Phillies never had a DJ
Yeah.
before. And baseball's lame enough. I'm just kidding, but like you know what I mean. Like they need it, but it needs it. Every sport, every professional sport needs a DJ, and I think like a lot of these organizations are following suit. Thank God. And you got this, but you have so many commitments. You were able to kind of put on your boys too, and kind of like make it like a group thing, right?
Man, yeah, it wound up
So
working
cool.
out better than I could have expected. But the stress that I was under in those like 2 days when they called me, and then when Paulie called me, that all happened within 24 hours of each other.
Wait. So like you starting
Yeah.
to tour with Paulie, so you had to like it was a crossroads. It's like, all right, do I go with Paulie D or do I go with the Phillies?
Yeah, let me paint the picture, dude. It was insane. It was like mid-February. I got an email from the Phillies, and said they were looking for a DJ for the official DJ, and I was like, okay. So I went in there. I was like, I'm going to do this, but like I keep saying this in other podcasts and stuff, but like these homestands for baseball games are like 10 games sometimes, like a game every day for 10
Yeah.
games straight. It could be, like it's 82 games out of the whole year. So I'm like, this is a career change, but like I'm still DJing. But I know there's games Friday and Saturday nights at 7:00, and games go until at least 10:30. Most Philly events or Jersey events and like nightlife stuff is from 10 to 2. I wouldn't be able to make those gigs on time. So it's like I feel like it's either Phillies or bust. So that kind of was. So I had to make sure that maybe money was right when I met up with them and stuff to like make it worth my while for like. I like to think that if I went and did the Phillies thing, I wouldn't necessarily lose all my club stuff that I was doing.
Yeah.
But it's one of those risks. Like when you go away for the weekend, you're like, oh my God, like I'm not going to DJ a whole weekend. Am I going to lose those opportunities? I'm like, I don't know. It's stupid shit you think about, but
No, you never know, man.
right. So I went in there and I was like, yeah, I'm on board. Even though like I was scared and shook.
But did you pitch it saying like, hey, but I'm going to spread this out amongst, but at that point you didn't.
Not immediately. I sat with them for like an hour and a half, and like we had really good conversation. And I kind of told them, I was like, because even at this point, a few times a month I would go out on tour with Paulie. My buddy Danny Rocks, who does what I do for Paulie now, was doing it for Paulie for 10 years, tour teching for Paulie. So there was times where like there'd be at least a weekend where I'd go out on the road with Paulie. So I kind of told them that. I'm like, look, there are some instances where I do have to do other things, like other obligations. And they're like, okay, that's fine. So I was like, all right, cool. So I like to think that I could maybe have a backup person if I want to go away for the weekend and tour with Paulie.
A person.
A person.
Started with one.
Yeah, sure. A person. So I got home and I was like kind of stressing. I'm like, yeah, like we're good. The money was okay, what I talked about, to where like for 82 games, it was going to be nice. It was going to be worth it.
It's per game, by the way. Like they pay you per game.
It's per game. I worked out. They wanted to do I wanted to do salary, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, what if every game goes into extra innings? And because you're literally to paint the picture again, if the game starts at 7:00, we have to be there at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Why?
Because
that's earlier than a wedding DJ, bro.
Facts. So the whole reason why we're even there to begin with is that the Phillies, the actual players, want a DJ. They wanted us, not the organization, the actual players. It got to the point where the players were getting so sick of during batting practice. Who we work for is considered Fanavision, and who that is anything audio and video related that you see on the scoreboard, the big scoreboard, like all the when they cut to the fans and stuff like that. That's all considered Fanavision. That's a company within the organization that we work for. So anything music and video related that you see is Fanavision. So it got to the point where in the Fanavision box, players were throwing balls up to get them to change the music because they'd only have Spotify like a contemporary, like who wants to hear fucking Ariana Grande while you're up to bat? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no offense, boo, but yeah,
No, but like it doesn't get me hyped to play, hit home runs.
right.
No,
Right.
no, and tell me it didn't. And then the first year you guys do it, we go to the World Series. I mean, tell me music don't pay dividends. Tell me having a
How
DJ
about
for
it?
every aspect don't pay dividends.
it?
Fucking
I was
proof.
always saying, I said on Fox 29 when we were in the playoffs when they had me come on to DJ for them in their morning show.
I saw that too.
I was like,
I was through channels. I was like, yo.
I was like, I like to
live.
think we're somewhat. I was like, I like to think we're somewhat of a good luck charm.
Yeah.
But yes,
That's
we're there
insane.
super early. We're there super early for them because they have batting practice first, being the home team. So they're on the field early. So when we're there at 3:30, they're on the field at 4.
Do you get to know the players, like what they like and stuff? You know what I mean? Like, is that
Sort,
like
sort
part
of? Yeah, sort of. So some players will come up, or like as you're playing songs, you kind of see like what they like because they bob their head or they dance a little bit. Like Reese Hoskins is the man. Like he's dancing to every song. He loves the baby. Like he'll literally stop what he's doing.
He's just a great ass time. Some of them are tougher
He
though.
is.
You got to read the room
A little bit. Yeah,
read the stadium.
When we had Joe Girardi as our manager, he loved Biggie. So he would look
Really?
over, he would look back at us and be like, you know, well, he was a New York guy for how long?
True,
Being
yeah.
on the Yankees.
Right, he was in the Yankees, yeah.
I'm like, yo, you got to start listening to Meek, bud. You're on a new team now.
Yeah. You got to switch over.
Yeah, and obviously he didn't.
At
make
least
it
the
through all
roots,
season.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, facts. And he didn't make it, but no, some of the players kind of acknowledge. A lot of the Dominican guys obviously love, Spanish.
Yeah,
and,
Dembao,
yeah. So we hit that stuff for them. But yeah, we do that, and then we have like a little bit of a break until the gates open, and then we'll play like a quick set, like a 40-minute set. That's actually kind of gotten longer as the season went on, where we play a little bit longer before the first pitch.
Gotcha.
And then when the game starts, we do pretty much whenever the game cuts to commercial, we're playing in the stadium.
Wow.
So pretty much in between innings, a pitching change, and they cut to commercial. Like that's all time
so
being
clutch.
filled by us.
That's
It's so
huge,
cool.
though. It keeps the morale up. People are bopping. You know what I mean?
It really is a different element. Like you could see when I first went into it, I was a little nervous because we've all heard music being played in like sporting events and like baseball games, and you're like, okay, like I've been to enough games to understand, but like you're there to do something different. That's why you're there. They don't want what you traditionally hear in a Phillies game.
AC/DC,
and that's what changed.
Tsunami. Like the
Facts.
same.
And that's what changed everything, Nick. And it was like when the Phillies were up after like having a 1-2-3 inning, it's like, yo, I'm hitting you guys with booyah. You know what I mean? Like this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So like shit like that was like super cool. Now listen, if we were down 10-0, like
what do you play then? Like when they're losing, how do you handle that?
So we have a production guy that we're talking to nonstop throughout the entire game. Oh, did I freeze? Okay.
No.
It froze on my end. But no, there's a production guy that's like, look, like we're getting our ass kicked. Like just have fun, keep the people here a little bit. Like we're like literally controlling a dance floor. That's like, so do like, a Spice Girl set, wanna be holla back girl. You know what I mean? Like if there's girls
like
there
that.
with their guy, like if there's girls there, like watching a game because their boyfriend or whoever they met on Tinder is there for a game or something. That's like their first date. It's like, have fun, fucking entertain them,
So just read the room and don't play any songs that win in it.
Facts.
I did that once, dude. Just avoid all I do is, oh shit, actually, we're not winning.
No.
We're gonna
Nick, I did that after a loss once. Like you kind of have to play a little bit as people are exiting the stands and all. And I played one more time, and I'm like, we're gonna celebrate. Oh yeah. I'm like, what am I doing right now?
And you look at the song one more time, it's a bop. Everyone's gonna like it. Until then you all of a sudden the lyrics are like, wait a second, this is a little too much celebration-y.
That's exactly
I didn't think
what
this
happened.
through. Oh man, yeah, that's the scariest part for me. Like that would be hard. Like thinking about. I don't listen. Do you listen to lyrics? I don't really.
No.
I don't know the words to anything. It's
I'm
bad.
so glad you said that.
I know every song. but like I know like the music of it, the structure. I don't listen.
Yeah.
I listen to the beats. I listen to like how catchy it is. I don't listen to like the actual lyrics. I have a problem. Like my girl, that's all she does. She listens to lyrics.
Yeah.
Like so she knows lyrics to every song. She'll be like, "You play that at weddings?" Like it's kind of about getting your dick sucked under. Is it? Because
Yeah.
that's a fucking bop. Like the Runaround Sue was a hoe. Like Sue was a hoe, and we play that.
Right.
So
Right.
you know what I mean? Like literally, it's the first song about a hoe.
It's funny. I've actually had that experience at a Phillies game. I think it was after some of the games are like there's some events that happen, and one of them was like the kids can run the bases for like a half hour, and I had a DJ. I had a DJ for that when the game was over. So like I played Blurred Lines, and the producer was like, well, this is subjective, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I kind of get it,
Eddie. These kids aren't fucking yet. You gotta you gotta relax there. You gotta play some "We Like to Party" or something.
Yeah. Right. But that's just me like being like, oh, Blurred Lines is chill but upbeat. I'm thinking beat and like, it's
exactly.
like,
no, I'm the same exact way.
Damn, dude. I was like, all right, so delete that.
That's cool. And then so you're able to kind of like make a schedule, spread it all out, and then cover the huge season and everything.
Yeah. So when I left there initially, I was the DJ, and then literally Paulie's tour manager called me the next day. 3 missed calls. I'm like,
I gotta ask you all about that too. That's so great.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, something's wrong. And his tour manager, his name's Cook. He was like, yo, you're on. And I'm like, on what? and he
what exactly?
He's like, yo, we need you, man. And then I called up Danny, who was doing it for.
If Cook says to cook, you cook.
Yeah, facts. And Danny was like, I'm taking on, something else. He started getting a job during the pandemic and all that stuff. We didn't have anything, and that's going really well for him. So he just like new endeavor. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm good. And literally, what was crazy about that was me just saying, obviously, I wanted to work for him. I love those guys. Paulie's the man. He's such a good dude. And they worked their ass off.
Yeah. I never met him. I don't know anything about Paulie, other than like the show and everything. He's cool.
Sure. No, he's awesome. What you see is what you see on the show.
He looks fun as shit. Like he looks like a fun guy to hang out with. You know what I mean? Like he's funny as hell.
Yeah.
He's the funniest one out of the bunch.
Oh, he is, of course. No, his sense of humor is great, and his shows are lit. He's super popular. Everyone loves coming to the shows. But when I was taking that on, now I'm like, okay, now the Phillies thing and the Paulie thing, and then my own gigs too. Because at this point, this was February. I was booked all of March. Spring break was in the following month. April was booked, obviously, and then like some of May. So I'm like, yo, like that's all gone now. I got to make so many calls. Like it's kind of life changing a little bit in a sense.
It's like it's the best and worst situation to be in. Like it's very stressful at the same time. Like holy shit, it's like all right, do I go do Student City for spring break? Right, you still do that. All the club gigs plus the Philly shit, and then the Paulie. But then you got to manage it. Then you have to like figure out who you're gonna say no to, and then like is it gonna burn a bridge later and yada yada.
Right,
yada. Like, it's the best and worst.
Man. Yeah.
So what did you do?
I like to think I make like decent moves. I was always kind of smart in that regard, but with this, it felt like getting traded to another team, like not knowing, like you going to practice the next day, like, yo, you're traded to the LA Kings. You're like, what?
Right.
It's really what it felt like.
Yeah.
But, it was, so I called the Phillies first because, that was like a big responsibility at that, which, it was crazy with the Phillies because they've never had the DJ experience before. So when we were both talking to each other, it was like, we don't know what to expect, but this is what we want. It was like so strange how that was like getting sculpted because the Phillies never had a DJ before. So
how did you get that call, by the way?
They just emailed me. That was it. It was just an email. And down the road, I think they were just like fishing around Instagram and stuff like that.
So I think, so social media, like radio combination, like.
Yeah. They wanted somebody that was obviously a fan of the sport.
Yep.
They didn't want anybody in there that'd never been to a game before. You know what I mean? So
yeah, sure.
I went in there and I told them, I'm like, look, now my responsibility got kind of higher since we last spoke 18 hours ago. and and I was like, how do you feel about me just like developing a team? I'll do the schedule. And they were kind of weary. They were like, they kind of just wanted one guy on the payroll. So they kept saying, like, they kept putting me on this pedestal, like, well, can these guys be the same caliber as you? And I'm thinking, I'm like, I'm what separates me as being better than anyone else to where you called me over somebody else? You know what I mean? It was like one of those like little like weird humbling things. It's just like, you know, how am I greater than anyone else in their eyes? Like I don't think they've ever
Mm-hmm.
heard me DJ before, to my understanding.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, no, like these are all my homies. You know, like somebody, whoever comes in here is going to be super well rounded. You know, and I think it worked out great. I think I was able to like quickly pick people that had the availability, and I was able to get four extra guys, because you know all these guys that I have: Scooter, Smooth, Hollywood, and Tonka. You know, these
Mm-hmm.
guys all work the weekends too, so we all have to collectively come together
Yeah.
and be like, what games can we all do? And then it worked
Mm-hmm.
out perfectly. Yeah, it worked out great.
That's an insane sales pitch. Like I would be petrified of that sales pitch, man, because like you get that opportunity and it's for you, and then you got to somehow sell them. And 18 hours later, that listen, like let me manage a team,
Yeah.
and then you got to sell them that like these guys are like especially not knowing, and this is a whole unknown to them. Like they're probably iffy bringing in
Yeah.
DJ in the first place, let alone five.
Let them
Like
five.
that was wow. I didn't think that's how it happened,
Yeah.
because I didn't think that was. I thought like you did like the
Yeah.
first few weeks, and then you're like, all right,
Yeah.
listen, I got to spread this out. Like that's a crazy that's Grant Cardone
Dude,
sales shit, bro.
it was
That's
all
like
my it was
level
all my
of
own. It was just like all my own selfishness, because I wanted to do both. I wanted to have my cake
yeah.
and eat it too, you know.
I don't blame you.
But I pitched it well, and what was good about it was the Phillies, like I said, didn't know what to expect during the season anyway with the DJ.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, it worked. It worked really well in the past with one, so let's just keep it at one. Like, no, this is all brand new. So
Mm-hmm.
that worked out perfectly. It couldn't have gone any better. So
That's
luckily for
crazy.
me.
So,
And what's funny was that I got the call and I did the least amount of games like the first like 3 months. Everyone had like 20 games under their belt. I had like six.
because you just went on tour.
Yeah, I had to be gone, man. Yeah.
So that brings me to Paulie D. So
Mm.
looking at Paulie D right here in AC at the pool.
Oh, this
So
picture's funny.
you I feel you've known Paulie a while, right? You didn't
Yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't just get the call like Phillies, right? Like you've kind of known Paulie.
Nah.
Like
Nah, there
how'd you
was
meet
like no ad
Paulie?
in the paper or anything like that. 2010 or 11, he started touring down here when the first season aired. So we started really getting his bookings, you know, after the show. So he came down here and did the Roxy, which is now Roar. And me and
Yeah,
Scooter were like,
the one on Delaware, right?
what?
Like right on the river.
Yep.
Yep.
And he had two shows that day. He was doing the Roxy show, and then he was going right down the expressway to the pool after dark to start his residency there.
Yeah. Wow.
And so when I got to the Roxy, I'm like, yo, like we had mutual friends. I want to date myself. Do you remember a website before Crook and Clan called Drama Mix?
I don't, man.
It was a DJ subscription site, smaller tier, but like Beat Breaker was on it. I was on it. Paulie was on it. There was the Rocket Scientists. Remember them?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's one of those like if you know kind of things back then.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. We were all selling our mashups on there, and Paulie was one of the DJs. So Drama Mix was a group called the Drama Squad DJs, based out of Connecticut and Rhode Island. And they kind of like brought me on as like the Jersey guy that was making mashups. I wasn't even really DJing yet. I was just making mashups at the time. This was like 2004 or 5. And Paulie was one of the guys on Drama Squad DJs. So when I saw him on the TV show, I was like, yo, he looks familiar. Like obviously the hair stood out to me, you know, and everything else.
Yeah.
But the hair, his hair.
I mean, it is the hair. I would, if I was him, I'd have like a separate Instagram just for my hair. Like, you know what I mean? Like that is the
But
quintessential.
I'm like, yo, he looks. But yeah, I was like, yo, he looks familiar. So I'm like, yeah, I fucking know who that guy is. So when he came around and Scooter was like, yo, I'm gonna go check him out at the Roxy and say what's up. I'm like, all right, I'll tag along. So we got into the booth, said what's up, dabbed him up. We didn't really exchange many words, but because he was DJing. And at that point, he was like fucking Elvis Presley at the shows, you know, because everybody had seen how groundbreaking that show was, and then he was out touring.
Yeah.
So like the world came out to these places, you know, and they still do, like literally. But his tour tech guy at the time, his name was Biggie. He was like, "Yo, we're going down right to the pool from here. Why don't you guys just follow us down?" We're like, "All right." So like ever since then, like we've been friends. Like whenever I can get a chance to have a night off or something on like a Saturday. He is like coincidentally down at the pool because that was like the that was like the closest destination you can go and like check him out. That wasn't too far away.
Yeah.
We'd go. He'd be like, "Yo, when the show's over, like come up to the room and hang out for a little bit. Like we have time to kill before we like head out." So we'd go up to the room, hang out for hours, shoot the shit, and we
What
just
would
kept
happen?
in
You guys
contact.
just like sat on couches and just talked?
That's it. They'd bring pizza up. We'd eat pizza, you know, because everybody had been drinking. So like Harrods would set up like just 12, 15 large pies, just bring them up to his room. We would just eat pizza.
I had like a completely different situation in my mind.
Don't get me wrong. There was, 10 years ago, 5, 8 years ago, there was, people in the room partying and stuff,
Yeah.
But it was all very like cordial.
I just
fun.
picture
It wasn't anything
pandemonium.
like, nah.
Insane.
It was all conversation. There wasn't even like, I don't even think there was even music being played. Everyone was just
Yeah.
talking, shooting shit. But
So you kind of like, stayed in touch with them, and then
Yeah.
eventually, literally 10 years later, you end up getting the call.
yeah. I was doing, like I said, I was doing shows for him for a few years, even before the pandemic. But they
So
were
you're
like
like the
once in a
fill-in
while.
kind of?
Yeah, when Danny's like was in a wedding or something like that,
Yeah.
and had to be gone for the weekend or something, like I would go and do like a run of shows with Paulie. So I was affiliated more so than just being a friendly acquaintance with Paulie. You know what I mean? I was actually on the road with them a couple times until
Gotcha.
my nose is running. It's cold down here. My nose keeps running. Everyone's going to think I got a problem.
I just
It's
put
so
all the
cold.
songs in a crate and go when I make mixes. That's it. I just,
Yeah.
I just
So cold in the downstairs of my house.
no, I feel it.
But yeah, anyway.
So what's it like?
Yeah.
Like, what's the whole? So like you're doing a show with Paulie, right? Like you guys fly there the night before, you stay, or you get off the plane and go
Yeah,
right
so-
there. Like,
So pretty much a run of show. His bookings are like us as DJs. It's all based.
oh shit! Here, hold on, I hit the wrong button. Hold on, 9. Hold on.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button.
There we go. No, that's cool.
Sorry.
He gets like I said, he gets booked like we do. It's all based on availability. If a
Okay.
club in Milwaukee wants him and a club in West Virginia wants him, like ironically in like March, and both weekend dates are open, we're going from Milwaukee to West Virginia or West Virginia to Milwaukee. Like it's all based on
Gotcha, just
availability.
make it work.
If I say this all the time, if we can get there on time, we're doing it. We're doing the show.
Wow.
It's not really set up like an Aerosmith tour, or I always say a Drake tour, where it's like you go from Dallas to Fort Worth to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then you're home for the weekend, or home for the week. It's
So a little
if
more
we're
travel
there,
intensive.
yeah. Like this weekend, for example, Thursday we're in West Virginia. We have to fly to Pittsburgh because you can't fly into West Virginia, and we have to drive from Pittsburgh to West Virginia, do the show, fly. We're not flying out of West Virginia. We got to go back to maybe Pittsburgh and then fly to Milwaukee, do the show in Milwaukee Friday night, and then we start in Atlantic City on Saturday at his new residency at Premiere.
Oh,
And then
yeah,
luckily
so he's
it's
not at the
Saturday.
pool no more.
Nah,
Oh shit!
What a long residency that was, man. He crushed that.
That's
12
10 years.
years or something like
12
that.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Like amazing. But
Wow.
and then luckily,
do you guys
luckily
fly like
Sunday I wake
commercial?
up in Philly. Most of the time, yeah. Most of the time it's just commercial. Yeah. The only time we fly private is when there's an airline company called Jet Suite. It's JSX, and they just take short trips. It's like Vegas to Arizona, Vegas to California. We just actually did it. It's their longest route that they have from where the hell were we this weekend? I don't remember. Oh, LA to Burbank, California to Denver, Colorado. We flew that.
Gotcha.
Flew private. Yeah. It's so nice. It's so nice and convenient instead of running through the airport,
Like, what's
Like
the
you literally
difference
walk
with
out to the
private?
plane.
You just walk
Private,
right
it's just
out,
like it's a small building with like it looks like one big lounge, and it's literally just a collection of like quick trips. Like every flight is like maybe an hour and a half apart from each other. So when you're there, it's like people are coming in, and then like whoever's in the building is obviously going to be on your flight with you. And the flight, the air, I think the plane fits like maybe 18 people. I could be wrong, 15 to 20 people. It's a small plane. It's like one on each side, sometimes two and one. They're tight, but they're they're a little bit more luxurious in a sense. Like every
And
seat feels like it's a first class seat, but
do you have to stay seated, like with your seatbelt on, securely fastened,
yeah,
and all that?
so people think with the private, that being like a private airline, it's not really like that private. Like there's no couches, there's no waitress coming around with like the glasses of the champagne and stuff like that. It's not
Gotcha.
really like that. But it feels a little bit more luxurious than your standard airline, and they're
That's
quick
pretty well though.
flights. So yeah,
That's pretty well.
it's very
Nice.
convenient.
So, like, what are your duty? Like, so you get to a show,
hmm
and like, what do you do? Like, how does everything work?
Yeah, so like this weekend, for instance, just to kind of like put it in perspective, I'll get into Pittsburgh at like I think like 3 or 4, and it's like a 2 hour ride to West Virginia, which like that's more like annoying than like most of our trips, just
Hmm.
based on not being able to fly into West Virginia, like I said. But I'll get
True.
there.
Yeah.
I'll have a couple hours to kill when I get into the new city, and we're coming from each of our homes too, so we're not flying together. So we'll meet at the hotel when we all get there. Um, but I'll have a couple hours to kill, and then I always have to do a sound check at every venue. I have to go and do a sound check, whether we've been there for the first time or 1,000 times. I go in there, I run a hub for him on the CDJs, set up his laptop stand so that when I go in and the opener is already playing, I don't have to like be in his way and do all that
Hmm.
shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like check mic level real quick. He's on CDJs, so it's like relatively easy. He has 3.0. He got 3.0 before I did. So he's
Really?
been running that. Yeah, he's been running that.
So good.
So it's super easy. So yeah, I do a sound check, and then so say most nightclubs the I keep saying gates. The doors open at 9 o'clock. I got to be there like at 8 o'clock. It takes me like 15 minutes to do a sound check. It's not that much, not that
Cool.
much time. And then he goes on 12:30. So doors have been open for a while. So that whole time period, I'll get dinner in the hotel or something. There's like a 4 hour window of us just hanging out, and that's kind of just like our downtime in the hotel. And then I'll get to the gig before him, set everything up, and if I put him on at 12:30, we're in a group chat texting at 12:20. Like I'll be like, "You guys good? Are we still good for 12:30?" Because I got to announce him and bring him out and everything. And then
Yeah.
boom,
Just in case.
we're never a minute late. We're always on time.
So, do you
We're
play
pretty
a song or
efficient.
anything, or you just announce him and he
Oh,
goes
so
right on?
yeah. So it depends where we're at. Most places, I'll probably do 10 minutes on his laptop. Dude, once I open up his bag and I kind of scoot the opener out of the way a little bit and like set up his laptop, once they see his laptop skin of his name, the place goes nuts. People wow out.
I can't
So
imagine. That's so cool.
if I play any longer than 10 minutes, they're gonna be like, "Yo, I
You're
see
you're
his
gonna start
laptop.
throwing
Who's this
tomatoes.
asshole? Yeah, who's this asshole?" So I don't really test that. I'm not there to be an opener. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm paid to be his tech. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Paulie doesn't mind me, playing a few songs, but it's all just to kind of figure it out and make sure everything's good from the time I was there at sound check, and hopefully
Hmm.
nothing got messed up in between. So it buys me time to kind of like go back and forth with maybe 4 or 5 songs with each deck and make
Yeah.
sure
Just make
everything's
sure
good.
everything's working correctly.
And
You ever have any
Nick, you'll be
technical
so.
issues?
I was just gonna say, Nick, you'll be surprised like that sound check run goes so smooth. And then when I get back there 3 hours later, I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, what happened to everything? Like
Yeah.
we did a fuck cancer event that Paulie loves to do for charity. It
Hmm.
was in Vancouver. We couldn't do sound check because we landed so late. So we literally had enough time to get up to our hotel, shower, and then I had to go right to the club. Like literally
Yep.
hair still wet. And I got there and I'm like, where the fuck is our mixer? Like, where is the other CDJ? The dude's running we use a 900 mixer and CDJ 3000s.
Okay.
I get there, there's one CDJ and there's an S9. So
Uh
I
oh.
look at the DJ. I'm like, was this here when you first got here? And he's like, what, the mixer? I was like, yeah. He's like, no, I swapped it out. What do you mean you
Wait.
swapped it
You
out?
ever
He
hear of
goes,
a
yeah,
rider dog?
he's like, well, there's another USB. Just plug into that. I was like, dog, it doesn't work like that.
Oh
So
no.
literally, and since we got there late, Paulie had to be on in like 8 minutes.
So did
Hopefully
you
you don't
just play
hear
on the
this dinging.
S9?
No, we had to stop the music and he had to switch out. Literally dead silence in the club. I was like, I said to the buyer, I was like, yo, sorry, dude, but like our rider wasn't here. Like it's,
Mm-hmm.
we're easy to deal with, but like equipment wise, it's got to be on point, you know?
What is his rider? Just like the CDJ 3000s,
Mm-hmm.
900.
A 900, yes. And we kind of say, like, please hub them if you can, like hub them for us,
Mm-hmm.
for like an easier setup and situations like this so that I don't have
Yep.
to run
So
wires
HID.
from yeah, run HID mode. But we bring one just in case these clubs don't. So I do that 50% of the time. I'll run my own HID mode. And then setting up the laptop stand. Some clubs have the laptop stand already. Like some industry standard nightclubs have like the laptop stands already and stuff like that.
Yep.
So it's pretty simple. Yeah. But
Sounds
and
like
then
easy then.
I play 10 minutes. I announce him. The show happens, and then once he's done, I just pack up and we meet back at the hotel, and then on to the next show in the morning. If a club ends at 2 a.m., we're getting picked up relatively early, depending on how far we got to go. We like the early flights in case of any delays. Like we got to get him to the next city. Been so many situations, dude, where we'll have a flight delay and sometimes we'll have to have a connecting flight. And if you miss your connecting flight, that can screw up your whole day.
Yeah.
We've had
Especially
some real
flying
close
nowadays.
calls. Knock on wood, I haven't been in a situation where we had to cancel a show because of flight trouble. I'm literally knocking on wood. Sorry, Paulie, if you're watching.
No, I don't blame you, man. It's scary. It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah,
When I book like
it's
destination
a lot of
weddings and stuff, like I gotta fly the day
yeah,
before. Like I'm not even risking it. Like I'm so scared of it because like you see these crazy
yeah,
D days and every flight
yep,
grounded. First time since 9/11, 11/11. Never happened ever, ever,
yeah.
ever. People camping out in tents. Never
It's
getting
so
home
crazy,
again.
bro. It's so crazy going from like my own gigs and like traveling an hour and a half down to Atlantic City and like doing that with the hotel room to like getting myself to the airport now for like every gig is on an airplane. It's like it's a very aggressive move, like transition, from doing
Yeah.
your own gigs to like working under somebody and helping him and that whole aggressive schedule. It was a culture shock for sure. But it's fun. It's cool. It's something you always want to experience, and if it's not you on the billboards going to these every one of these shows, I'm happy that it's with him. He's the man. So it's fun to do that.
Facts. And have you
Yeah.
learned stuff through the experience? You know what I mean? Like, have you like just watching how he kind of like handles his sets, things like that? Like, you pick up on anything?
Yeah, I mean, he's always a good entertainer, like I said, you see how he is on the show. He's like that when he DJs too, He's very personable. He likes to talk to the crowd, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's different because he's such a celebrity that like the only thing I can really take from his shows, like I like the way he conducts himself, even as a business sense. You know what I mean? He's very professional. He's not bougie. You know what I mean? It's like you hear about these rappers and like the riders or like how they treat the buyers and stuff. Like he's super nice and like
Or they want half their fee in cash in a
yeah,
duffel
facts.
bag.
Yeah,
Like you ever hear all these like
yeah,
crazy stories? Like
yeah,
I need 200K in cash in a duffel bag, the
yeah.
rest in a
Right.
check, because fuck the
Yep.
IRS, and this is the only way I'm
Yeah.
coming. I'm bringing my whole posse. Does he have a
Yep.
posse, by the way, or is it just you and him? Or
Yeah. Yeah. It's me, him, and his tour manager. That's
oh, okay.
it on the road. Yeah.
What does a
We
tour
travel in a
manager
three
do?
piece. He make sure, like logistically, make sure that everything on the. See, we have an itinerary every day of like when the car's picking us up from the airport, when it's got to pick us up to go to the gig, and the car's got to stay at the gig, and like making sure he's there to take us back to the hotel. The same car is taking us to the airport the next day.
Gotcha.
Um, the logistics of the
Logistics.
club of like walking Paulie through the club to get to all those things. He needs somebody with him to like help all that stuff, guidance. You know what I mean? The
Mm-hmm.
hotel rooms and stuff like that, like checking us in. Paulie's not exactly walking around to the front lobby and like waiting for his room. You know what I mean? Like we like to make sure everything is ready to go to where walk out of the car, get up to the elevator to the room, make sure everything is fluid. He gets stopped a lot, He,
Yeah, like is it crazy? Like just walking around with him in general? Like are people like can you see how it can almost be annoying or cool? Or like what's that
yeah,
like? You know, like
I
I've never
noticed
walked
that.
around with a
I noticed
celebrity.
Yeah, man, I noticed that real quick in like the airports. Like, imagine it being like 5:45 in the morning. You're eating a bagel, sitting down, waiting for your flight, and somebody's coming up saying, "I'm sorry, I know you're eating, but can I get a photo?" And you're like,
Ugh.
You're just like, listen to what you just said. Like, I know you're eating. Like, he's got a mouthful of bagel. You know
if
what
you
I
had to
mean? Like, leave
preface
him
that
alone.
with, yeah,
We hadn't slept. You know, it's situations like that. Like, I can understand from being in Fort Worth, Texas, going to your hometown and seeing, you know, Paulie at your gate. You know what I mean? Like, I can
yeah,
understand the shock of some people being fans of him.
sure.
But there's also, you know, seeing it from his perspective. There's definitely a respect factor that people don't really care too much about either. But he handles
And
it
it
really
can,
well.
yeah, it's something that could like get old really fast. I feel like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it's like at first it's like, wow, I'm famous, and then eventually it's like, Jesus, like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
but people got balls, man. Like I've always, anytime I've ever seen a celebrity, I never had the balls to go up to them. Like I would, if I saw Paulie D in real
same.
life, I would just be like, yeah, buddy, and then I just keep walking. Like I don't want
That's
to
what
bother him. I feel weird.
you'll be surprised. That's what
But like some
it's so
people are
weird.
bold.
People do that all the time. You always hear, like, imagine going down the terminal to your gate and you hear it in the background. Like, you hear somebody. People do a lot of the double takes, and it's not until they pass him then you hear it. You hear it behind you,
Hmm.
Paulie. You know what I mean? You just like everyone's yelling like it's not 4 in the morning. You know,
That's crazy. He could
but
he
you know it is what it is.
If I was him, give him this advice from me. All right. If he's having a day where he's not trying to get bothered too much, piece of cake. This is how you fix it.
Okay.
He's gotta wear his hair in bangs. Okay, bangs. That's the key. Bangs. His shit's fucking tall. I bet you he's almost down to eyebrow bangs. If he rocked it, if he rocked that center part from 5th grade, you know what I'm talking about? Like just
Oh
rock
my
the center
god, I
part
had
out
it.
of nowhere.
I had it.
Nobody, and I'm not talking gelled. I'm talking like El Naturel. Nobody would recognize him, and like literally, I feel like he could just get through if he just kind of, you know what I mean, like just
Yeah,
low key putting
yeah.
his head down and had the center part. I'd be like, that kind of looks like Paulie D if he was
That's
Amish,
funny.
and then they would keep it pushing. They wouldn't have no idea. You know what I mean? Tell him, he's like, I'm not Paulie D. My name's Jeremiah. I'm Jebediah.
Oh my god, you stupid. That's a good point though. Yeah, the
Seriously.
public. Yeah, the public stuff. Like, there's not many. Even like when we get into the next city, we're getting DoorDash, you know, or room service up to the room. We're not going out and getting many meals in public and
Yeah,
stuff like that. You know, it's a lot of
because this is a
lot
lot.
of yeah. It's a pain in the ass. It really is. You know, you're a whole human being, but to other people, you know, it's no one cares. They just, I got to get to them. I got to get to them. You know, and
And
it's
it's
a
tough
lot.
too, because like DoorDash and all that shit gets old, man. So it's a shame. You do like, I love going
Yeah,
out to dinner, and like to not be able to really
yeah,
go out to dinner unless you have some certain circumstance where you're kind of in the back, like in the cut, where people can't
right.
come up to your table and bother you. Definitely a pain in
There's
the
also
ass, but
there's also another cool aspect too. Yeah, like, you know, they've been touring, Christ, for 12 years. You know,
yeah,
so for me to be coming in, starting to hit the road heavy with them, I kind of want to be in Houston and like see the sights a little bit, or like let's find a cool food spot, or like get a drink. Like, what the fuck's the cool drink out here?
100%.
You know,
Yeah,
stupid things like that.
I'm the same way. Yep.
And you know, I can respect and understand that, like, you know, they've been doing it for so long that it's another night for them, another gig, you know.
Hmm.
So it's like when I go to certain cities and like there's a homie in town or something, I'm like, meet up with me, let's go, let's do something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's been fun, being in, like, you know, go down to Miami and like your homies down there coincidentally, and like now it's like a nice little fun trip with your boy, you know.
What's your favorite city so far? You would
You know
say.
what's funny? The smaller cities are so dope for Pauly shows because they don't get many like celebrities that walk in or come into the town. You know what I mean? Like the Aokis and the Tiestos, and, you know, I put him in that caliber of like popular DJ acts. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Small as
So
what,
when
like
you're in
Milwaukee, or like you mean smaller than that?
exactly, yeah,
No.
like
Okay.
you would think like when you go to Miami, it's like, okay, it's Miami, it's always lit, but like the core Pauly fans are going to be at the smaller markets and like so excited to see him because they haven't seen him in years, this and that.
Yeah.
And, you know, Miami and Vegas, like, don't get me wrong, every show has Pauly fans like that are like the majority of the crowd, like if not all of them. It's just the way they conduct themselves as like fans. You can kind of tell, you could feel the difference in the nightclub. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So I mean, Miami's always lit because like you just like keep your eyes peeled, like who's going to be here? You know what I mean? Like every time we're there, Carnage shows up. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's like it's fucking
Poppy
Carnage,
Gordo or whatever that
excuse
guy.
me, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck he's going by now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got a million surnames.
But it's just
That
like
guy.
it's very, yeah, exactly. It's like random shit like that. Like being in LA, like Leonardo DiCaprio showing up. Like that was cool. That was
What?
last week. Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
Who'd he
Toby
show up with?
Maguire, Jaden Smith, the guy that threw the party. To not get into too much detail, just knows a bunch of
Yeah.
celebrities, and Paulie did like a private show for a girl's birthday, and these are the people that were showing up to this party. And yeah, I'm just like, what? Like there goes Leo. We're on a first
That's
name basis
insane.
now.
I call him Lee. What's up, Lee?
Yeah,
What's up,
right.
L?
Jaden Smith there. It was cool.
That's
Right.
so cool. Well, like,
But yeah, you just
as far as experience though, what would you say your favorite city is? Like, you know what I mean? Like the city you visited, and like, because you've been all over, like at least the country. Like, what, you know, like where you're like, wow, this is like the coolest city. You got to go to this city.
I always compare San Diego is beautiful, man. Oh my
Yeah.
God, is it beautiful? What's cool is that you can compare any city knowing that like whether you're in Grand Rapids, Michigan or like Tucson, Arizona, the show is always going to be a Pauly show and fun. It's
Yeah.
just what else is cool outside of the show, you know?
That's what I mean,
Because
yeah.
every show is lit, you know? So being down in Miami is beautiful, of course, you know, like who doesn't like being in South Beach? LA is always fun. Like, all these big cities, they're always fun. Being in Chicago is always dope in the summer. Have you ever been into Chicago? It's beautiful out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so much fun in the summer. All like the rooftop spots and like I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just I like being out in those bigger cities. Texas is always fun. People party down there. Like every show just seems like it's just better than Vegas. You
No
know?
shit.
It's
Oh, dude's
yeah,
like, let's get drunk.
yeah. Tonight we're getting fucked up.
We're getting fucked up. Yeah, what's that from? That's from Chappelle's show, right, or something? Or no.
it's
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams. Yeah. We're getting fucked up. That's how I picture Texas. I only been to Dallas, Texas. I haven't been to another Texas, but it was a good time. There's a bunch of cowboys down there for sure. Those motherfuckers
We're down
drink.
there a lot. Texas is big as fuck. We're down there a lot.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, it's cool, man. It's fun.
I mean, yeah, it's insane, and you're kind of like, there's no, is there an end game? You're kind of just like, you know, on tour with them and like seeing where this goes.
Yeah, it's cool because now that I'm like, I've been with him, pause, since March, so it hasn't been a full year yet, but it
Gotcha.
feels
Like
it,
full
'cause
time,
it's,
that
you know,
is. Yeah.
yeah, full time, and I get to still come home and play Thursdays here at my own gigs and shit. Like, I'm at like. I could do Barstool still. Any place that's open on a Thursday. So Barstool out here is always super fun. JJ Bootleggers is a lot of fun. All college kids. They're open every Thursday. And now Wicked Wolf is open. So they do Thursdays. So I can come home and play some fun spots. So it's still cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Xfinity Live with the Eagles. Every home game I'm there. You know, sometimes I go right from the airport with my luggage and all into Xfinity because I have to be there.
That's fun though. That place gets packed. If you guys don't know what Spinelli Live is, it's essentially like this huge conglomerate. It's like a huge like building, and it has like 9 bars around the outside of it, and then in the middle there's this huge TV screen where you watch the Eagles. And basically like it's right outside the stadium. So like, you know, it's the best if you can't get in the game or you don't want to get tickets or whatever. You go to Xfinity Live. And you literally watch the game there, and it's like you're being at the game because it's even worse than the game because like people go there are just like absolute lunatics, and everybody's just screaming and throwing shit and beating up anybody in the opposite jersey. It's awesome.
It's literally a mall of bars. It's great. And you know what's funny? It's going to like all the other ones, all the other Xfinity Live properties, or all the live properties. Like KC Live is gigantic. It's huge. It makes
KC
Xfinity Live this. Yeah, KC Live.
What's that?
There's a.
It's in like Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City Live. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I was like, where's that in Philly?
Yeah, no, KC Live. Yeah.
Oh, so like they do it in other cities too. No, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a Philly
Dallas
thing. See, I'm so in my bubble.
Bro, Texas Live.
What?
Big. Baltimore has Power Plant
What?
Live. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So it's literally a thing. Well, why wouldn't they do it in every other city?
Right, exactly. Yeah, and we've done them all, and they're so dope. They're just cool venues. You know they're like sports related, but they're also like they do the big DJ stuff and entertainment stuff. So it's like it's a good package for a venue. It's fun.
That's fucking legit. What's like?
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Random question I did want to ask you. Like, what's like the like the biggest mistake you ever like made DJing, or like the biggest like the word like you got a story of like where like you were like, oh my god, like you wanted to die kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a few. I'm nowhere near perfect. I make a lot of stupid mistakes. But I said the wrong city once on the microphone at a Pauly show. Because normally I first get on the microphone and I'm like, San Antonio, we're in the building, baby. Who's ready for Pauly D?
Yeah, but like, that's your line.
But we're in like Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock? What the fuck is Lubbock, Texas? Actually, what is that?
Lubbock, yeah.
Lubbock?
Lubbock, yeah.
Lubbock?
But anyways, but being in Dallas, but like you're really in San Antonio.
Did they boo you?
You know, no, because
like,
the music's
happened?
playing. It's not nothing, but I know I mess up. You know what I mean? There wasn't really.
So you kind of left like
real oh shit moments. Somebody asked me this before, but like I always think of these after the fact. But oh my god, I have a bad wedding one.
Oh, let's hear it.
I have a really bad wedding one. So do you know Tommy Diz by any chance? Anyways, hold on. Anyways, homie, long time homie, but
Tommy Diz. It sounds very familiar, but sorry.
Sure.
Tommy. Yeah.
It's okay. He was in his buddy's wedding and he wanted me to DJ it. Now,
cool.
I had a buddy of mine MC for me. I never do my own weddings where I'm MCing and DJing. I always have an MC with me personally.
Gotcha.
So this guy wanted to be an MC, but he probably did one other party, which was like a Sweet 16 before doing this wedding. So essentially it was his first wedding as an MC. This is irrelevant. This is all me. It has nothing to do with him. Just to paint the picture.
Okay.
Before the first dance, which is, I don't do many weddings, the bride and the father and the bride, right? Okay, so regardless, the groom's mother came up to me and was like, during our dance, I want you in the middle of our song to switch it up and go to Apache. It's a funny thing that we do.
Oh, God.
I was like, all right, but this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing her tell me this. In my head, this is what I'm hearing her tell me to do.
Okay.
It's like a bad dream.
Mm-hmm.
So the mother and the groom go up to do their dance. I wait 35 seconds in. Now, the MC doesn't know this story. I didn't tell him about this. So the song's playing. So I wait 35 seconds. I scribble out, and then the bongos of Apache or whatever the fuck the instrument is of the song.
Yeah.
And so the MC doesn't realize, looks at me and kind of goes like, oh shit, I should probably say something. He goes, all right, we're going to switch it up real quick. And I'm like, everyone's kind of looking at me like kind of funny. The whole party, the whole reception's looking at me like, what the fuck? So I'm thinking, I'm like, this was planned. They wanted me to do this. Why is the reaction so, what the hell are you doing, DJ? So after that happened, she comes up to me. She's like, that wasn't supposed to be for me. It was supposed to be for whoever else it was. Like maybe like I don't remember. It was so foggy to me, but I messed up by picking the wrong couple. Maybe it was supposed to be for the bride and her father.
Oh, a different dance. Not their actual dance.
Not for them.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God. So when it happened, the people that were dancing were like, you know, what the hell is he doing? Why is he changing it up in the middle of our first dance?
Oh man. And then now, did you end up doing it for the next dance again? So it was kind of weird. It's like, so now everybody knows it's like, oh, it was originally meant for that dance.
Yep.
Damn.
Bro, and that's the beginning of the party, so I had to live with that the rest of the. It's the story's kind of foggy. I wish I remembered it clearer to know like the exact like where I fucked up.
That's a good way to think in your mind. You got to repress all the bad memories. You know, you can't. If it's crystal clear to you, that means you're reliving it every day. You know, you're carrying that weight on your shoulders. It's not a good thing. I watch Dr. Phil, and he says it's best to just repress the bad memories and just keep moving forward. You know, MLK said it best, right? If you can't run, jog. If you can't jog, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But no matter what, you got to keep moving forward, right?
But
that's
crazy. That lived with me.
I've had way worse fuck ups though, so don't feel bad. Way worse.
That's lived in my head rent free since it happened, 2011
no
or something.
joke. It's scary stuff. That's the tough part about weddings, though, is like when the mistakes are up front, like early on. Now you have to do the entire wedding, and everybody there knows what happened. Like that's why I ended up a long time ago. I invested a lot of money in my ceremony shit. Like a few years ago, like a lot of money, because if your mic cuts out for ceremony, for example, because you do a separate setup for ceremony, your mic cuts out. Everyone turns around and looks at you like during the ceremony, like what's up. And that's how you're starting your day. And now like my whole swag is gone. I go to do intros later. I'm like, hi, welcome. And I'm all nervous and shit. And just ruin everything. Like, nah, it's worth it. Like I'm just never want to have to worry about any issues ever again, especially like technical stuff or anything like that.
No, you guys are elite.
anytime the usually like when there's we'll do that every once in a while for like a parent dance where like you switch it up to another song. A lot of times I'll try and make an edit if they like tell me ahead of time, but it sucks because it's funny. Even if you do it right? Even if you did it at the right one, everyone still looks at you for a moment and is like, "Oh my god, did you just fuck up?" And I gotta be like, "Eyes on them, they're doing the dance, bitch." Like I know what I'm doing. Like you know what I mean? So like no matter what, there's still 200 people looking at you like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Fuck it, watch them." and then it's like it's scary every time. Every time they ask me, I'm like, ugh, I hate doing it,
dude. The kudos to all wedding DJs, including yourself, man. Like I do maybe 2 a year. I did a lot more years ago, but like to do them every weekend, it's like you say it best, like they're literally everyone is a Super Bowl. And that's the most nerve-wracking thing. All the prep, all the emails that you have led up to this time, and boom, there you are, you're feeding them every single song. And it's like it is a Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl performance every single time. And of course, we're our own worst critics, so we want to be on point from start to finish. It's not like just going through the freaking motions and being like, I think they were happy. It's you're thinking the entire time, how can I make this dope as fuck the entire time? And that's where I'm just racking my brain sweating at weddings, just being like, I don't want the next song to be a dud because it's so awkward at weddings. Nightclubs, it's like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like if they don't like me for this one or two songs, I'll get them back. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I always commend wedding DJs to the fullest, man. Oh my gosh.
Thanks, man. It's tough. That's why I don't want to do as many anymore.
I hear you.
I enjoy them. I love weddings. I like a balance, man. You know what I mean? Like my perfect world one day is like 30, 40 weddings a year. You know what I mean? Which is like half of what I do now, more than half. And then like the rest, like other stuff. You know what I mean? Just because,
isn't it fun to go to a bar and unleash?
It's
and just
the greatest thing in the world. People want, you see me DJing a bar. I was DJing that brew spot this past weekend. I don't think I stopped smiling the whole time. My cheeks hurt the next day. The whole time.
It's fun there.
Because you hit the ground running there, like it's packed right away. So I'm like, this is fucking great. Like, shouts to Double Down and all, like Jason and everything, because they fucking for putting me on. Because nobody wants to book a wedding DJ, but like they take their chances on me, and I have so much fun, man. Like I have so much. There's just that stigma, man. There's a crazy stigma, and you got to admit it's accurate. Like. It's turning around. If you went back 10 years, it was 1,000% accurate. I don't know what DJ there was maybe 5 DJs 10 years ago that like could handle a club, possibly wedding DJs. It's turning around and it's becoming more because now the couples want more. I want to say club experience, but like more like the quick mixing, the beat mixing, the scratching, and all that. That's what my couples literally want and hire me for, and that was never a thing back in the day. So like the lines are being blurred finally, and there's crossover, but like it's still the thing. Like it's I am labeled like I posted on social media the other day like a thing, and I was like, hey, where do you I'll probably delete this. Where you want to see me in 2023? Like see and when there's only 10 comments, I'm gonna delete it right away so no one sees it. And then like and sure enough. Motherfucker came in hot like, bro, with all due respect, I like your videos, but you're a wedding DJ. You're not a club DJ. 2 different things. I'm just like, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, it's so ridiculous.
Fuck you, dog, all right? I'm working on it.
It is such an unnecessary gray area. It's ridiculous.
But... I don't know. Who knows what the future is going to hold? I think people are. I think a lot of with the pandemic. Have you seen like a lot of like club guys going to weddings? Especially since if you remember with the pandemic, the first gigs that got to be done were weddings. We had our postponements, and mitzvah. Like as far as private events, like corporate events were gone. No company's going to risk it for the biscuit having a party. They were gone for years, right? Till late 2021. Mitzvahs, the birthday already happened, they're beat, right? Birthday party, all this shit, nobody's having those parties. Weddings had to get postponed. People were still getting married. Yeah. So before clubs were opening up, before bars had a dance floor, weddings were happening behind closed doors. You're not allowed to dance, but we were dancing anyway. Like, it was all happening behind closed doors, no mask, nothing. Like, that was like the Wild Wild West, weddings. And I think a lot of like the non-wedding DJs, or the DJs that maybe don't do as many weddings, they're more on the club side, were like, shit, like, I need to pay my bills. I can do weddings now, make decent money, and at least work. And then a lot of people crossed over, and then now, and I love it because it brought the bar up, like, because now there's a lot of leftovers where there's still club DJs that are doing more weddings than they ever did before, and these dudes can throw down, and it's like, so now, you know, teaching electric slide is even more obsolete in my opinion. I don't know, did you see that? You know, it changed shit.
Well, no, I did. It was definitely a financial factor, of course, and it was still the same aspect of like club DJs just feeling more comfortable versus DJing weddings, but they had to feel like they had to DJ weddings. So like maybe they remembered how much easier, or maybe how easier it's become to do weddings now, because like you're getting older, the crowd, you know, you can play.
You don't need to MC as much either.
That, and that's huge for me. I hate emceeing my own weddings, as you know from that story, but I think now would be, as we're getting older, I remember DJing weddings 10 years ago and being 5 years, 6 years, 7 years older than the people getting married and still doing it. Like, I don't know why I wasn't more nervous then than like me now, with people being 12 years younger than me getting married now. It's like, I know all their music. I know exactly what they want to hear. You know, it's like, why am I not taking this on more, you know?
Well, because you reach the middle ground. They all, who said it? Was it Road Podcast that said it? Like, I think Crooked, that like, you know, all the best, you're not going to be the best DJ ever until in your 30s, because you have to get all that musical experience. There's no way. Like, there's a lot of great DJs in their 20s, don't get me wrong, but they can't fuck with DJs in their 30s that like came up like
Crooked did say that.
Because it takes that long to have that full music knowledge. When you get to like, you know, like I think the sweet spot, like I'm 33, I think from now till like I'm 40 is my sweet spot for weddings, because I'm still dialed in. I understand and love all the new music and the like all the music they like in the 2000s and 2010s and all that. But I have a very good understanding of the older shit too. Like I'm in the middle. Like I understand, because a lot of the parents now, like it's funny, like if it's like a 25-year-old couple, their parents bop to fucking Eminem, to like real Some Shady type stuff, like that era, to like Biggie, to that's their bops. It's not like, you know, you still play the disco and all that, but like their bops was that late 90s era. When I was a kid listening to CDs I shouldn't be listening to, you know? So like I think it's just a better grasp overall, where you're not intimidated, you know, to like get the older people too. I don't know.
Well, that's even like me on Q102 with the Throwback Thursdays. I'm thinking Salt and Pepper, Push It, Run DMC, It's Tricky. You know, Rick James, Super Freak, obviously the Nicki version out now. But I'm like, yo, 10 years ago, it's 2012, 13. Like, that's where EDM started popping up, the Clarities, the Titaniums, and, you know, what have you. It's like, it's literally it can be an EDM set again of all throwbacks.
It's still thrown out.
And it's considered fucking throwbacks. It's absolutely insane. Not 50 Cent in the club. You know what I mean? If there's a 17-year-old girl listening, she was 4 when that song came out.
True.
It's fucking nuts, man. Crazy.
And then just from having the experience over 15, 20 years of DJing, you see which songs made it. Like there's certain songs from back in the day that even the young people know for some fucking reason, and you figure and you just learn those along the way. Like some just don't hit at all, trial and error, and then some literally have never died. It's just insane. Like they still work, you know, and that's a huge advantage too, you know, because that's what you do early on. You play all those songs that you know is going to work for everybody no matter what. And there's just so many of those now, you know. I'm interested what everything's going to look like in like 20, 30 years. Like, are all the cover bands, is it going to be like Drake cover bands? Is it going to be like, do you know what I mean? Like, is it going to be like 21? It's going to be like old dudes like singing that shit, like with a band, but with all kinds of technical computers and beats and like.
The funny thing about that is, like, when I was doing Bally's Beach Bar every summer, I was there for like 11 years every summer. Then I always DJ'd in between cover bands. Some of these bands went in and was doing Pitbull, Rihanna, Usher. Like doing full-blown top 40 sets, and the DJ comes on me, and I'm playing fucking AC/DC and Joan Jett and all this shit. I'm like, how am I playing the rock music and you're playing this is fucking ass backwards. I mean, I like it. You know, I don't care either way, but like, there's something messed up in the system here. A
I
lot of
know
these,
bands are playing
a lot
like
of these
Lizzo
bands,
and shit.
yeah, they're doing full blown DJ sets. Have you ever listened to Go Go Gadget? That's a straight DJ set.
Yeah, straight up.
Fucking
Yeah, they're
frauds.
playing Dua
I'm
Lipa.
kidding.
It's like, what's the matter with you guys? Relax, save some.
Facts.
You know,
For real.
that's what's so cool about like stems too. You know, because one advantage I feel like bands had were like they can like, you know, they can break a song down. You know, they can make it where it's just drums and vocals and sing it everybody, woo, and it's just drums, and then they bring the guitar back in. Now we can fucking do that. Like when I'm at a wedding now, I'll take the melody and bass out, and it's just drums and vocals, and people
So
are fucking
cool.
singing. You know what I mean? Like you're at a concert.
Yeah,
like
dude.
to be able to break that down live just for crowd engagement. Oh, it's just.
You brought up a good point that I didn't. You brought up a good point in one of your shows that I didn't think about was.
Thanks for watching, by the way. I didn't even know you watched.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate you, man.
Nah, dude, nah, you've been a
No
homie
way.
for a minute, bro.
Thanks, man.
You brought up a point where, like I said, that I didn't think about was being at a wedding or any situation where you got to talk on the microphone and the music and the words are still going. Something got to be urgent. You block it out and it's just the beat going. I'm like, yo, I didn't fucking think of that. That's genius.
It's unreal.
It's so
dude.
genius.
Dude, it's the coolest thing in the fucking world. There's never. I still cut out the music like by habit, like here and there. And I think there's points where if you really want to make a point across, maybe cut out the music completely. But like, but generally speaking, man, you can literally voice over anything, make anything an instrumental instant. Oh, dude, it's just
so cool. I've only used it live, just pretty much dropping the beat out, just going hitting the acapella button, and when I'm blending, like more or less more opening sets.
Did you
where
map
I'm just
it out?
like mixing like some. I didn't. You know what's funny about that is I fucking did that on my S9 upstairs here. Oh, by the way, this is Ray. This is my fiance's bedroom, by the way. Or not bedroom, her studio. This is not my wall.
I was going to say, it's a fabulous wall. Love the background and everything. Love it. Love it. The contrast.
There's all her, wait, hold on. Where the fuck is all the, oh, here they are over here. Hold up. There's all her wigs and shit. Like, I'm in her studio. Like, damn, Nine loves pink. In my studio upstairs, I went.
Sure.
Turntables are right here.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I know. I just saw your Rev 7, dog. Don't lie to us.
I just got that too. I love it. I just copped one. Love it.
Oh, great.
I went to MIDI map my S9, and I never MIDI mapped anything before, and I had it in one of the sample packs. What was it? I think I used like not the hot cue. What's the one that nobody uses? Like Slicer or some shit. What Roll? It might have been Roll.
Roll's the one I did.
But anyway, I did it to one of those, and I had it, but I must have did something in the exiting out of the MIDI mapping process where whatever I had touched, like my booth monitor or something, it MIDI mapped something, or I didn't deselect where I was going to MIDI map things. It was still. I'm probably explaining it super weird, but I fucked up somewhere in the system. And I thought I had screwed everything up because every time I was turning up my booth monitor, which I use for my speakers, literally Serato was like stopping the song. And I'm like, something's wrong with my Serato. I messed up somewhere. So whatever I MIDI mapped had me turning off internal mode because I have phase with my turntables upstairs. So everything's an internal. Serato's an internal. So every time I would turn up my booth monitor, Serato was stopping playing the music, and I'm like, "What the fuck did I do?" And after after some trial and error, I realized that I MIDI mapped something messed up. So I just had to like clear everything. So I had to MIDI map anything since.
I wonder if you can technically MIDI map it like a knob like that and like kind of mess up and like play like a Cardi B soundbite every time you turn something up and it's like what the fuck. And
possibilities are endless, dude. Yeah, dude. So that was a little scary.
In the application, and if you go to Rev 7 and you click on the system, whatever, there's a hard reset where it'll reset the regular, and then you reset start from scratch. Okay. And then you can MIDI map, obviously, right in Serato. It's super easy. What I did was I replaced the roll, with my Rev 7, I replaced the roll function, but then with the scratch bank, I clicked on the scratch, I don't have it with me. Another button so it doesn't take up my scratch bank, but those 4 buttons, those are my 4 stem buttons for the Rev 7. For my S9, what I did is I did my loop buttons for acapella and instrumental. So like the to activate the loops, because like I don't live loop. I like, and if I'm going to loop something, I have a saved loop built in. If I'm going to do a wordplay, the loop's already saved. Like I never risk it for the bit. Like once they had that save loop feature, I stopped looping on the fly because that was the number one thing I'd fuck up every set, and then it's just ruined. And just throw it away. Second verse, here you come. You know what I mean? So like it's either a saved loop or like I echo out like the forever echo or something. So I replaced those buttons with acapella instrumental on either side on the S9. So like at weddings, that's how I did it. So acapella instrumental, bam, bam, bam. So I can quickly doop. Doop. And then if I need to really separate 4 stems, you just go to roll. Nice and easy. The newer ones, if you have an S11 mixer and S7, it separates the pads, so you can literally still have your cue on one side and like have the roll on the other side, so you can do your stems. Whereas the S9 doesn't do that; it puts roll on both pads, which kind of sucks. So then you don't have your cues. But
it's been fucking awesome. It's been so dope having it.
How fun is it, man? I think DJs sleep on it. Like
it was just even like I remember being at Wicked Wolf and just a part that I know everyone's going to sing, unwritten, Natasha Bedingfield. Just even dropping out the beat and them singing with just the words, you know, it's just, I could let the acapella go and let them sing with her, you know, like no beat, you know.
And doesn't it seem like they're louder? Like, does it seem like they even get louder because they feel like they're more, you know what I mean?
I love doing that shit, man. Yeah.
It's just I've been
incorporating. Sometimes I forget when I'm DJing that I have it to use it, you know, and like I said, I was only really doing it like during opening sets when I was like kind of bored. People are starting to come in to the club a little bit, you know. So like my basic blending, I was like dropping out the beat and just having the acapella, which I'm like, holy shit, this is so fucking cool. Like I need to keep doing this. A lot of the EDM stuff when I do, like when you know in the middle of the night when you get up tempo and shit, it's like I don't really find a space for it too much, you know. But
well, it's funny you broke that up. So I've discovered just by like mixing is that so with certain EDM songs it actually is better to like just cut out the low end EQ and bring it up that way rather than because it's like too much. Like if you just go right to an acapella and then just bring in like a hard 808, you know, doom, doom, doom. It's just like, it's too much. And usually the 808 hits harder than the acapella that's stemmed out. And like, it just doesn't hit right. Whereas like if I just brought up that 808 and just took the low end out and like mixed it regular, it would have like been like 10,000 times better. So there's certain situations you got to like play with, you know what I mean? Like, but overall, man, it's just to have like, go ahead.
Do you think acapella outs are a thing of the past now?
1,000%. Like I think, I mean, you know, they're always going to make them. I think if DJs were smart, like the producers, they need to make, you know, all your Club Killers, the DJ City and everything. Like I told them about it like a million times. Like they got to make a section for stem ready edits, and like it's all about mastering now. Like it's about like this song is mastered to the gods and it's ready for stem. So when you do stem separation, the acapella is going to sound clean as fuck. Like the better the song's mastered, the better it's going to sound with the stem separation. And I think that's more where they need to focus. You know, I mean, you're always going to have a need for acapella outs and intros and all that because there's a technical aspect of having to hit the button with the timing and plus bring it in. Like if you're not super, like if you can't mix like with your eyes closed, then like that's just an extra step to mixing where like if you're still starting out DJing and like, you know, you're super concentrating on just hitting the beat, you know, and like hitting the mix on the right beat and then getting it, then it's going to be really hard for you to separate the stems and then do it, you know? But like once you have that skill, once you have that skill set, literally I don't need acapella. I don't fuck that. Like, cause like I'd rather, and a lot of my intro edits, dude, all fucking, I'll start screaming about that. I get so excited, but like I have so many fucking intro edits where it's just the fucking beat, the do da, the basically a redrum. Now I just play the original song and I cue it at the start of like the full instrumental and I cue it at the start of the acapella and then I just stem it out. And my mixes sound so much better. Like intro edits I always wanted with the actual, that didn't exist before. I can just make on the fly. Like, and you can mix anything. Like, dude, so many mixes I wanted to do and I never could do before because like the beats didn't match up. It just didn't sound right. Just EQing it out. Like now video? You can.
What was that one video you put out? You're like songs that you wouldn't think go together. And like the first time you got the 3.0, you mix up something and you were like,
dude, I was freaking out so the whole time. There were so many of those. I was just freaking out, like, no way, it's gonna work. It worked! Oh my God! I was like, literally. And that's me every weekend now. Like, literally, like, doing weddings with it. Oh, working with the saxophonist and taking out the melody so they can literally play in the pocket, literally so actually play the saxophone part of the song while I'm playing the rest. Like, so many, It's just.
I think it's I think
changed
I
everything.
would utilize it more at weddings than I would in the nightlife stuff. A lot of the clubs. It's just there's so many avenues that you could use it for, like so many variables in a wedding night that you could use it. You could use it the entire
And
time.
there's so many wedding songs that don't have edits because why would a DJ ever make an edit to it
Sure.
except for this one time I need it, you know? When I
Yeah,
started doing
man.
tour weddings, I did it a couple times, and it sounds kind of crazy, but if you do it right, it fucking works, man. It's insane.
What kind of weddings?
Well, any wedding, right? What I started
Oh,
doing
okay.
with stems is, let's say I'm playing a slow song, right? Let's play,
Sure.
you know, "You're Just Too Good to Be True," right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you slow it down, and then, or that's how you open up a dance floor. You do a slow dance first, and then you know open up afterwards. I'll fucking at the end, "I love you." I'll fucking drop that bitch to acapella. That song in particular is like 126, and then I'll drop
Yeah.
a hard 808 4 on the floor, fucking, you know what I mean, Pitbull, whatever.
Damn.
"I love you, baby," and then literally mix out of the slow song into fucking the dance
Wow.
set, and everyone's like, "Huh." Huh. And then, and instead of like, because I guess the traditional way most wedding DJs would do is you fade out the slow song. Well, all that slow stuff is great, but we got a party to start, so here we go. Who's here to celebrate for Chris and Erica? And then you like play the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, instead of doing that, you can literally beat mix out of your slow. I gotta write this down. I'm gonna actually do a whole segment on
funny.
this because this would be a good video actually.
Hell yeah, there you go.
I just thought.
Oh my god, that's so
But
funny.
but yeah, but I could never do that before because who the fuck has an acapella out of Elvis Can't Stop Falling in Love with You? Like, you know what I mean? Who has an acapella out of Perfect by Ed Sheeran? It doesn't
Have you,
exist because there's no need, you know?
Right. Have you had an oh shit moment when you drop just the acapella, or when you use the acapella and it's a shitty one because the stem is just not like how you envision it to be, not as perfect, you know?
Absolutely.
I think I think I've done that once where I'm like, fuck, that sounds like shit, and I got out of it.
Yep. And it happens. And so what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to work out a lot of those kinks and take mental notes on my Twitch streams. So like with my Twitch streams lately on Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Be there. I actually have a fucking poster I'll show you guys later. What I've been doing with my Twitch streams is like I've been, playing whatever the fuck I want, but also I've been digging in my wedding crates and playing different wedding songs and like almost kind of trying to try them out with the stems and taking mental notes of which ones suck. It has to do with the mastering for sure. Happened to be at my last wedding. I was playing Shipping Up to Boston, and then I was mixing it, and then I mixed out of that. That's in like the 128 range, right? And I was mixing out of that into like a drop. I think like Reload or some shit. I don't know, like one of those drops.
Sure.
When I cut it out, the acapella was weak as fuck, and everyone was like raging, "Ship it up!" And I cut it out like 4 bars into the chorus, right? So those last 4 bars I was gonna cut out and bring it in, and everyone's raging. And then when I cut it out and mixed into the next song, everybody's like, "Wait, where'd the song go?"
Sound like it was
fucking here.
Sound like you were underwater.
Yeah, and I was like, "Damn it!" Literally like underwater. I'm like, "Damn it!" Mental note, fucking, you know what I mean? Like that's a weak acapella. Or in general, maybe I should just EQ that out, even if it was better. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's better to have the beat.
Yeah, dude, I've been pretty lucky with like the hip hop stuff. Like I said, I've really used it for like a lot of the 100 beats per minute, like kind of doing the Serato climb to build my night, and like doing like the all the Mustard stuff, DJ Mustard songs and all that kind of shit.
All that shit's produced so well.
And I haven't had any issues with things like that. So I've been kind of lucky. I think there was like one instance where I was dropping it out. It all depends. Like I would imagine, like if you like dropped out like the motto, and had it just a cappella, like that would be a funny one because of like how bass heavy that song is, and like maybe the words being kind of like melted into the 808 a little bit to where it wasn't so good. I could be wrong, but
I don't know.
I would like to think that
if
like
I ever send that one out. I can't remember.
Right. I haven't
Yeah,
out
possibly.
of that one actually.
But it's just so fun. You literally just like you just 1-2 beats
cool.
before, just drop it out. It's just acapella, and then you just cut in the next. But it's like you're doing live AM sets, but he would do it with the real acapella instrumentals, where it actually took like real skill. Now I just have a button. It's just like insane. It's a cheat code.
Dude,
it's literally a cheat code.
True open format rooms doing that stuff too, like playing any hip hop song and then dropping into like
Jackson
I Want You
5.
Back. I was fucking
Dude, get out of my head, bro. Get the fuck out of my head. First the sausage, egg, and cheese.
Yeah, this is strange.
Whew. Anyway, it's
By the way,
it's insane.
I still have the sandwich here. Just drinking my coffee.
Yeah,
Now I'm all
my
hopped
bad,
up.
man. We're actually, yeah,
No, you're good.
we hit 2:00 anyway. I fucking, I don't want to keep you too much longer, man. My bad. It's
No,
been
I'm
fun as hell.
chilling,
I could
man.
talk to you forever, bro. We
Yeah,
gotta kick it sometime
exactly. Yeah,
in
man.
real life.
Yeah, I'm never around.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking man's on tour. Trying to think, was there any other things I wanted to add? One last thing before you go. Did Shaq
Sure,
really
yeah.
slap your ass and like did
Yeah,
you shit right
yeah.
ever again? His hands the size of a
was-
fucking catcher's mitt. Like,
Oh,
what do
dude,
you do with
when
that?
we were in the Bahamas for a spring break, and I guess he has a house out there. I never knew this. So one of the nights with the spring breakers, we do a nightclub night. I mean, they're mostly all whatever. We were in Atlantis, the resort, and they have a club in there called Aura. So all the spring breakers is like 1,200 kids, students. They all go. Yeah, it's fucking insane. I love it. The owner was like, "Yo, Shaq's gonna come in," and I'm like, "Shaq? Who? Like Shaq?" And I'm like, "All right." Like, he seems a little old for college, but
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So, but he's like, "No, he's got a house out here. He's in town. Like, he gambles and shit there at the casino. He's gonna come in and say what's up." I'm like, "All right, cool." Sure enough, 5 minutes later, he walks right up into the booth, dabs me up, very nice, And at this point, I don't know if I mentally knew that he was a DJ already.
Okay.
I think he always messed around with it, but I'm not sure if he was like Diesel, like doing shows yet. Because this was
I
like
trying to think of his DJ
2018.
name. Yeah, DJ Diesel.
Yeah, Diesel. He plays hard shit. Have you heard any of his sets?
Dude, his like dubby stuff is like, whoop,
Bro.
whoop, 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 and he's like, it's insane.
So do you know the backstory of why he DJs now, or why he wanted to be a DJ?
I have
So
no idea.
he told somebody in a podcast that he misses now that he's retired. He misses that presenting, or like him walking out into the court and everybody going nuts. That like goosebump feeling. He's like, I haven't felt like that in the longest time since he retired. He's like, I went to a festival, and when he heard the response, whoever he went to go hear, when he heard the response from the crowd when they came out onto the stage, he's like, I want that feeling again. I want that back. I miss it from basketball. He's like, I like DJing. I'm going to DJ. Just so he wanted to like kind of chase that experience again, But he came in.
That's
so
so
anyways,
cool.
It is kind of cool, right?
But that's why DJs look so young, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but like me and Nine are like 60 years old, and we basically... But like we don't, dude, do you ever like run into people from like high school and shit? It's like been like 15, 20 years and they're like, dude, do you dye your hair? Like what's going on? Like you run into people from high school? Yeah. Yeah. They literally look like, I'm like, dude, we only graduated 15 years ago. Like, why do you look like this? I don't understand. It's really because
it's funny because I literally dye my hair.
You get that feeling all day. Well, your girl's your stylist, right? Like you guys, like you
She is.
You can always get it like so. Yeah, that's different.
I'm actually in her. I'm in the chair. The chair.
In the chair right now.
In the chair. Yeah. But no, he came into the DJ booth, dabbed me up, big ass hand, obviously, fucking huge.
Yeah, is it like huge? Right? Like I can't imagine. Like, dude, what did that feel like?
So
did you feel like a baby?
What's funny in the DJ booth, like imagine Murmur, how like you can kind of like hang behind the DJ and there was a bar back there. That's kind of how Aura was set up. So you got to take 2 or 3 steps to get into the DJ booth. There's like a door that opens up. You take the 3 steps up and then boom, you're in the DJ booth. But when he wasn't in the DJ booth yet, when I turned around, I still looked up at him because obviously that's how fucking tall he is. He's like 7'1", So he walks into the booth. I have a video actually of when he got on the microphone. He was there for maybe like 3 or 4 minutes. I have a bootleg that I made. This was, like I said, 2018. So do you know that song, Nasty Freestyle? First, let me hop out the
motherfucking Porsche. I don't want it. Yeah.
So I have a banger, bop.
Do you?
And I have a bootleg that goes into like this trap edit. It's super dope. I mean, I personally like it. And I play it, and he looks at me, slaps my ass hard as hell. He goes, I need that.
I need that, dog. I need that. Did you send it to him?
Yeah, so I got his email. I sent it to him. I'm not sure if he's ever played it or anything, but I don't know if he's ever like received it. But I gave it to him. I sent it to him.
You sent it to him? That's so cool.
He was in the booth for like 10, 15 minutes. He didn't stay long. It's not like he like was sitting back there drinking with us, but like it was cool. He stopped in. I played one song. He got on the microphone. That's when all the kids noticed that he was there, and like their phones came out. I have a video of it. Maybe I can try to send it to you.
That's crazy.
But everyone went nuts for him. Then he walked out. But yeah,
cool
slap my
experience. Then he jumps in the crowd and crowd surfs and kills 40 kids.
Phones off.
What's up?
What'd you say? I took the headphones off, so it kind of like disconnected. My bad.
No, I said then he jumps in the crowd, tries to crowd surf, and kills like 40 kids.
And kills everyone. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, his
man.
shit's nuts, man. I've been seeing his shows, man. He wiles out. He plays hard as hell.
That's sick, though. That's fun. DJ Diesel. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of always wanted to do a set like that. Never had an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I couldn't do that on the regular, but like those super hard sets, like that would be fun to just like one time, just to like, my entire crowd is like tripping balls. And I'm like, all right.
Just melt in their faces.
Like, what can I do right now? And then just like play the most ridiculous, all the womps, you know? Because you got all these, because I have a couple edits I just think are so cool, but like, how do I fit this in without weirding someone out? You know what I mean? Like, especially at weddings, like it's impossible. So it's just like, I just have this folder that just never gets touched. It's just literally has cobwebs in this crate. The crate is just all cobwebs. It's just I bust it out when I get wasted on Twitch. Like once I black out on Twitch every once in a while, then all of a sudden it's like check if Nick's okay. It's just like whoop 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 whoop, and then I get into like breakdowns. I play all this metal shit. Like I play all this like crazy, and everyone's like Nick is literally in the Illuminati. That's what it is. He's in the Illuminati because who else would play this shit? His true self comes out when he gets wasted. That's why like I drink. I switched to White Claws during my Twitch streams, dude, because like White Claws don't fuck me up. Like when I pour my own like vodka clubs. It's bad, man. Like I literally, and then I wake up next day. I'm like, oh god, I went to 1 a.m. Oh god, what did I play? And then I record everything. So I look back at the video and it's like, you ever watch yourself DJ drunk?
Yes,
it's an experience.
No,
it's just
maybe
like,
not. No, maybe I'm listening.
You're just sitting back, like, oh god. Oh, say something. What's the matter? And you could just tell, like, you know yourself. It's like nobody's home. Nobody's home. Lights are on. Nobody's home. I'm literally just going through motions and playing the most reckless shit. And the chat's just like, check if he's alive. Send help. I'm like, never.
What
again.
A beautiful thing.
If you know, you know. Anybody in the chat, you know. Hopefully you didn't get any blackmail on me. Whatever. Yeah. All right. I drank. I got drunk. I'm not going to be president. So kiss my ass.
You were home.
No politician. You know.
I'm human. Was in front of the public.
That's right. I'm home. I didn't drive. Yeah, I didn't drive after. You know.
But
yeah, that's I recommend that to every DJ.
Yeah, I never
get blackout drunk and see what happens.
I never touched the Twitch atmosphere, man, during the pandemic. I really dropped the ball on that. I just didn't have the space for it where I was living at the time. I never really did it. I did the Facebook Live thing just to kind of like get it out there, but like it wasn't anything crazy.
If I was you, I would try it, like even if it's like once every 2 weeks or once a month or something, man. Like Twitch is so cool because why I kept doing it, it's just an outlet. It is the one place where you can literally play whatever the fuck you want. Whatever you want. There's no dance floor. There's nothing. You just play wherever you want. And like, it's just so fun. And I record it. So like, sometimes I come up with cool ideas during it, but in general, I'm just playing, I'm singing the songs I want to sing. And it's true. Like there's no other gig like that. You know what I mean? Like every other gig, you have a responsibility. There's plenty of gigs where I have a time of my life and I play all kinds of stuff that I really like. And but Twitch is different, man. And like I don't look at who's watching. I do watch the chat now. I started doing that for a long time. I didn't, and like it's kind of bad. You gotta kind of watch the chat at Twitch, but you don't even have to.
Right.
I don't even care about any of that. I just turn on the camera and I just fucking DJ. You know what I mean? I'm just And it's just cool. It's such a release. Like I can't until you do it, man. I'm telling you, it like just you should try.
Person I always tapped in with is Scene. He's always been a long time homie.
Oh so my god, his stream is insane.
Bro, to see his progression with Twitch and all, I mean, of course, like I just love him as a DJ. Like he's a beast. To see him turn it into some, and dude, he's unbelievable. I discovered him when I fell in love with Murmur going to see AM. So like Scene did like a Murmur Monday, and I'm like, yo, he's a fucking beast. This was like 2010. So I'm like, anytime Scene was in town, here I come, going down that escalator into the club. I always went. So to see him on Twitch, being home and seeing it turn into a show for how like much he like built his like
All the sorcery, he makes his turntables move and shit. And
dude,
like
is that not a mind fuck or what? That's
bugs
so
me
crazy.
out. I still don't understand how he does it. I really don't.
Nah.
And I'm pretty good at this live stream and shit. Like I understand all this stuff works. Like I don't understand how he does it. I never
I remember texting Demand.
But,
I remember Demand being in the chat, and we were like, him and I were bullshitting back and forth because we both love Scene. So we were like literally texting each other on the side, like, what the fuck was that? when the turntables went up, we literally simultaneously texted each other.
It's just insane. And Scene's one of those DJs too where like he is a power scratcher. He is like a power, I don't know how to explain it. Like he is so clean and so tight and so fast at his cuts. And he cuts at full volume over a 50,000 watt club system, and it sounds fucking fantastic. Like it's
so tasteful,
like, to the T, tasteful, clean, precise, unbelievable. I would chop my leg off to be able to scratch like that. I mean, just practice, Nick, and learn. But it's insane. Yeah. He's too good. Like,
no,
he's so fun to watch.
You're spot on with that. And sometimes at Murmur, he's like, I guess fell into like a pocket where like he would turn around, he'd ask me, he's like, yo, what do you want to hear right now? And I'm like, I just want to hear you chirp.
Let me hear that triple time chirp you do.
Yeah, and he would just turn around and be like, that's not the answer I wanted from you at all. Like he wanted a song, but
yeah.
But no, he was one of those ones where in the club he was one of like a few that would step into.
It's still a few, in my opinion, that truly cut like that. Like
in a room like Murmur where you have a full blown open format dance floor and you incorporating your scratching with just playing to a room perfectly and like tastefully cutting like that, it was unbelievable. It was like it was a part of the song, like dead ass. It was like it was in the song, incorporated in it. It's like, how do you get that version? Well, that's him doing it. You know what I mean? It was
and
just
that's
unmatched.
the 1% of 1% of 1% that does that. I can count on one hand DJs that can truly do it like that. Like it's insane. And AM didn't have power cuts like that, but he obviously cut his face off throughout and then was able to work a room cutting like that. Scratch Bastard can cut like obviously ridiculous, and he can work a room. I've seen Scratch Bastard live work a room, literally cutting like that, and it's insane. Like not even I saw him at a club in Lancaster, PA. Nobody even knew who he was. They just brought him in. The guy who books out this club is like he's in the culture. He loves DJing, so like he brings in cool DJs and stuff. And I'm telling you, not a lot of people knew who he was. He was literally just working this room. And I never seen anything like it in my life. He cut so much, and everybody was all about it. Like he would like stop the beat and literally do this triple time chirp for like 32, 64 bars until everybody in the room started screaming. Right. And eventually 16 bars, 32 bars, he's still going, and everyone just stops like and these are regular people. These aren't like Scratch Bastard fans. These are just regular people that came to a bar in Lancaster, and they went nuts. And then he would just drop this hard, I forget what he dropped. I'm like, what the fuck? And just turn this room upside down using turntablism. And like that is the hardest possible fucking thing. There's so many people that are so good at cutting, and then you see them do it live to work a room, and they're just doing it for the DJs. Really, like it doesn't translate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that is like an art that like, it's just unreal. And when you see it done, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I miss it. It's been a while since I've like heard that kind of, because like even going to, I always go back to Murmur because that's where like all those guys were going into the scene.
Yeah,
Spider.
Who's the booker then? Like they fucking they brought the peeps out there, man. I remember wishing I could not get a good fake ID to save my life back then. I literally turned 21 March of 2010. AM died August 2009. Yeah. So it was literally like I was 6 months away from my 21th birthday. I literally cried. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? He died. How'd he die? What the fuck? I'm almost 21. Like, and I had no fake ID connect. It wasn't like nowadays you just mail China or some shit. You hear about all this stuff. Like, I got one fake ID. I got arrested in Penn State for it. So that didn't work out.
Oh, shit.
That's a story.
I think AM's last gig was in Atlantic City before going up to New York to do his show. Or
at Dusk, right?
I think he did. Yeah, he did Dusk, and I think he might have done another club the next night in New York. That's why he was in his apartment in New York. Yeah. I forget the timeline, but I was at that. I was at Dusk that night. Whether it was his last one or not, I forget.
So
I don't
you got to see one at least the last time in AC.
Yeah.
Oh man, did he say?
And that was the first time I saw him at Dusk. A little. We always enjoyed the sloppiness of it a little bit, didn't we? It was like, well, I guess I did personally.
It made it human. I agree.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was something cool about him, maybe like trying something new, but he was still AM. So like you co-signed it, even if it was like a little sloppy. Like, oh, like he tried. It was still dope as fuck. It just wasn't perfect.
Yeah,
but none of us,
exactly.
we can't even try to do that. So like you were like,
Exactly.
oh, that was dope. So maybe it was. I remember it being like sort of like that, like a little all over the place. But that's how he did it, and it was dope. You know. But
No.
yeah, crazy, fucking nuts.
R.I.P. AM. R.I.P. AM.
Facts.
Anytime I'm having trouble getting a crowd dancing, I just pray to the ghost of AM. That's the DJ gods. He's like the king DJ god up there. Him, Spin Bad.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Spin Bad hurt
AM.
too when that happened. Spin Bad hurt when that happened too as well. That sucks. But there was a point last week actually when I was flying home because I was far last week. Oh yeah, we did a whole West Coast. We were in LA and wherever the hell we were. But I don't remember. It's so weird not even remembering.
Fucking blur.
My brain. But no, coming home I was like, I need something to watch because I don't watch much TV when I'm home. Usually like buried in my laptop doing graphic work or like getting ready for the weekend or something. So Ray usually has the TV. But I was so bored coming home on my flight. I'm like, I want to rewatch the AM documentary. And I watched it, actually, coming back home. We actually went to Tribeca to go see it in the film festival when it first came out. Me, the
that's
man,
so
and a
cool.
couple
I
other
wanted
guys.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we went out there to see it. So cool seeing that, like in that element.
I have it on my desktop. I still watch it every once in a while. It's like the greatest thing ever, but then it makes me sad at the end, and it's like
it's super sad.
Like
it's
at the end, like they literally just pull on your heartstrings with it, and it just brings me back to like when I saw the headline when I was like, oh god, and it's just. But
yeah,
normally things like
motivating. Normally things like that, you have to like watch a comedy afterwards to kind of get your mind right. I went and rewatched Squid Game after that.
Right.
People just getting shot in the head.
Yeah, either that or you got to go like kick your friend in the balls or something. Like you got to do something. Like you got to switch it up.
I know.
Otherwise you're gonna be sad the rest of the day. It's like fuck, man. And then you think like, could that happen to me? I don't know. It's like
facts. I know. Yeah.
But man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm so
Dude, thanks for having me.
So late. It was fucking time flies, man. But this was fun.
Yeah,
I hope everybody enjoyed it and shit. You got stories, bro. We'll definitely have to do it again.
Yeah, have me back. I'd love to do this.
Oh, let me put your everybody follow DJ9 if you don't already at DJ9 with the 9 there. Definitely follow him. Crazy shit on social media. And yeah, man. Good luck this weekend. Crush it. Safe travels and everything.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Let's see each other. Yeah, let's try to see each other.
One of these days, bro.
Out.
Let me know when you're in town, man. I'll come out. I'm chilling, especially now, off season. This is my wedding off season.
True.
So,
I made your rundown for you. You're in town.
Yeah. What happened?
I made your rundown for you. I know where you're at.
Oh yeah, facts. That's true. That's another thing. I wouldn't even touch on that. I didn't realize you had a whole underground fucking graphic design business. Like until I started doing double down gigs, and I'm like, who designs these? He's like 9. I'm like 9. I'm like 9 design shit? 9 design stuff? He's like, yeah, no, 9's the guy. 9's the fucking dude. And eventually I'm like, you know what? Let me see if 9, you mind if? And then you make him so fucking fast. I'm like, dude, you're my fucking guy. Like I I don't want to announce it from the, I don't want anybody else taking my guy, but I guess if you need stuff, but kind of, but yeah. You're my fucking, you're an animal with that shit.
Shameless plug.
Good. I appreciate that stuff.
No, thanks, man. Of course.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, hopefully I'll see you sooner than later, brother. Thank you for having me on, for real.
Sounds, man.
It's fun.
Sounds good, man. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it, bro.
All right, brother.